Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy Jack here at the Irish Hot Sir, bringing you another watch along for this preseason. We're actually over on the island this time, over in the UK. So we're actually not going to be in the heat or in the humidity, but it is actually not going to be as warm or as nice of a reception of a crowd. We are the away side this time, everybody, and it will be interesting to see how these players sort of cope with their first kind of game. Maybe not being having so many fans in the stadium, because I think Korea was very very kind to us. Lots of very passionate fans out there, and they showed us a lot of love. And I promise the Ibrox will not show us very much love. I just want to say, everybody, if you can't already tell, the lineup is at the bottom of the screen, but we do have Lloris in goal. We have Romero as the right-sided center back, Dyer again as the central center back, and Sanchez. I mean, everybody, yet again, left-sided center back choice for Sanchez. Ben Davies, I believe, is hurt. Longley is on the bench, so hopefully he does come in to save us, from having to watch more than 45 minutes of Sanchez at left-sided center back. But maybe Sanchez could prove us wrong here. But also as well, we have Emerson Royale playing as right wing back, Sessignon as left wing back, Hoiberg as the center mid, alongside Bentancur, Kulusevski, Kane and Son. When you really look at it, it's kind of more or less the team that kind of got us into sort of top four, maybe apart from Ben Davies, being there. But let me know what you guys think. Clearly, a lot of people are very upset, about this. And my thoughts on it is that maybe it's just because of the injuries, the new signings. He's just going to go with the strong team, then put in, kind of the signings and the subs in later. We are going to bring in Brian Daigle here, everybody. But just a second here. But Brian, just talked to Nick, my man, and we'll let you in. But everybody, David, unfortunately, seems like something really kind of did happen to him on stream. Seems like he's going to have to go and see a doctor. So everybody, put kind of your thoughts as well as kind of just your well wishes to David in the chat. Seems like I think something just happened to him on stream. I think he's really okay at the end of the day, but it did look like he's in a lot of pain, and he did have to head off to the hospital. So everybody show David a bit of love. But we are going to get to the chat here. We have Dark Sun G saying, I know that friendlies have more players on the bench, but look at how spicy and great this bench looks compared to last season where no one was usable. I mean, really, when Conte looked at the bench last season, Dark Sun G, he just looked back and then just didn't want to look back ever again. There was just nothing of use to him there. And then as well, I think when you look at this bench, which, by the way, everybody, the bench does include Jed Spence. It does include Longley. We have Perisic there, Papa Matasar, Basuma's on the bench, Dark Sun G. We have Hill Messi, Lucas, and Richarlison. I also do want to see maybe Fraser Forster come in as well, just to see how massive he is on the pitch. But you're absolutely right, Dark Sun G. This bench is looking saucy, my man. Absolutely saucy. But we are going to get to a bit more of the chat here. And everybody, like I said, the lineups are on the bottom of the screen. We have Ribsy in the house. Good to see you. Said should be an interesting match. Definitely will be a different match if you ask me, Ribsy. We also have Welsh Gal in the house. Good to see you, Welsh Gal. Catman Jess saying, come on, you Spurs. Good to see you, Catman. We also have Mark saying, afternoon, Jack. Big up, Mark. Moondog in the house. Good afternoon, Jack. Good to see you, Moondog. Tequila 316 says, no more Sanchez. We also have Daniel Larson in here, and he's saying, afternoon, everyone. Hope to see Basuma and Perisic in the second half. Good to see you, Daniel. Daddy Hoybjerg is going to hopefully redeem himself from his last display, everybody. We also have Ian Ferguson saying, get well, Dave. Thank you very much, Ian. Everybody, it seemed like something just, there's something kind of sudden that seemed to happen kind of to Dave, everybody. Then I do really wish him well, and everybody keep your thoughts and kind of just your well wishes for him, because I think he is going to be okay, but he did seem like a bit of an emergency where he did have to rush off. So it is going to be Daigle. We're going to try to add him in. Everybody thank Nick as well, Lazy 801, for doing all this technical kind of support in the background while I'm speaking, and trying to get our main man Daigle in here. Everybody as well, when he does join, we do have his channel pinned in the chat, because he is doing us a real service by filling in for Dave here. I mean, honestly, what an all-star lineup we do have. I mean, it's like losing Hoybjerg and then bringing in Basuma. Brian Daigle, how are you doing? Basuma in the house, filling in.
I am doing very, very good, sir. Always a pleasure to come and help you guys out, but obviously, I wish it was under these circumstances. But yeah, it's good
Yeah.
to be with you, and obviously, anytime I finally get to spend with Nick is always worth it.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of love for David in the chat, everybody, and I really do appreciate it. And like I said, I was on the phone to him. He seemed well enough to just say, can you get someone in to fill in for me, Jack? It's not an emergency or anything. So if he was well enough to say that, I think it's not a total emergency. But he really does not seem like he was in a good place and had to take care of himself right away. Which everybody, like I said, do wish him well, and hopefully Spurs get him the win today. But Brian, we're basically looking at the lineup that more or less was the team that got us, into top four,
Yep.
apart from Ben Davies, maybe being the only omission. We're going to see probably Sanchez at left sided center back again, which hopefully he redeems himself. If he doesn't, I guess we have Longley to fill in. Any thoughts on the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that we didn't have Longley. I was surprised not to see Longley. And we were just talking on the pump up as well. The fact that Sanchez has gone to left centre back, it just goes to show that Joe Rodon has no future. Um,
Mm,
so I would have rather we moved another defender from the even if we put Romero at left and Sanchez at right. Romero is just a class defender. For one game, he can adapt there. But it seemed it is what it is. So very surprised with that. But I think we'll see a lot of those sub. I mean, look at the strength in depth on that bench now. That
yeah.
bench, as much as that team that got us there, pretty much on the starting 11. You look at that subs bench now, and that subs bench looks a hell of a lot tastier than it did 12 months ago.
That's a that's a Dark Sun G was saying. He said even spicy. In
Yeah,
fact, that that bench. It's just the names of Richarlison. You have Basuma there, Hill Messi. Of course, you don't have to believe in that, but that's just for me. You have Perisic there. You have Papa Montasar, which, if you ask me, just quickly, I think there is maybe a role for him in the squad if he impresses Conte enough. Because who knows? Like an injury to Skip, like we just experienced today, he could be that guy that comes in, in the 80th minute, when things are kind of good, 2-0 up,
yep.
sort of player. I think there is, I kind of called it, and it's maybe a bit of a demeaning role. I called it the Harry Winks role. And I think there is a Harry Winks role in this team for somebody, Brian. And I feel like Papa Matasar would not be a bad person, to keep around. And he also was in, I know this is a bit of a tangent here, but he also, he hasn't really played in a Spurs shirt, if you know what I mean. Whereas Brian Hill has, like Brian Hill did sort of start the season with us. Then he went out on loan because,
Yep.
Conte didn't really see him fit enough to, kind of lead us into the top four campaign. Whereas with Papa Matasara, I just kind of feel like either he should go on loan to an English club or he should just stick around because he's also still only 19, which I think is kind of crazy as well. It's kind of like a Dane Scarlett, kind of that you're sort of keeping around. I feel like it's somebody that you can just let, climatize, to the club.
So what I do have to say, it's amazing. We've gone from the Claude Makaleli role to
Harry
the
Winks role.
Harry Winks role. I mean,
It's
that
a
is two
desired
ends.
role, gets you a spot on the squad.
That is two ends of the spectrum, isn't it? I know which side I'd rather be on. Um, I mean, Mate Sarr winning African Young Player of the Year is a fantastic achievement. From what I remember, he didn't actually play that much regular first team football, like starting. I mean, but there's obviously something in this kid. There's obviously something in it. And we're saying today, because it looked like Skip's picked up an injury, but apparently Alistair Gold's confirmed it's only a mild knock. And we're discussing, do we need to get another midfielder in? If because Ollie Skip, as I love him, I absolutely adore him, but obviously he's picking up injuries, whether it be a big one or a slight one. And I'm hoping we're not going down the path that we have with other players with his injuries, because it'll
Yeah.
be a real waste of a massive, massive talent. Um,
We've
but
been
you
very
asked,
cautious though, and it seems like we're doing the best that we can
yeah,
because we didn't risk him because we at first we thought that he was necessary, which he probably was to get us into top four, but we just decided to risk top four in sake of kind of Skippy's sort of health for the long term.
yep.
If that
That's what you got to do with these ones. And let's face it, excuse me, everyone, excuse me, everyone will know um, this game is going to be very, very spicy. It's not
mm,
going to be for the faint-hearted. When you put England and Scotland together, it's never a peaceful exhibition, or it's going to be blood, sweat, and tears today. And I actually think there's going to be a few
absolutely.
red cards. I think there could be a few red cards. I'm not joking.
That'd be
I think
glorious.
I'm not going to go as mad. I'm not going to
That'd
go
be
as mad as
tremendous.
Wolves did with 2 red cards each against the Spanish team that they played. But I think this is going to be a very, very, very hostile game.
Mhm.
And not risking skip is a very good thing to do. But I'm just concerned that he is picking up little things very
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of time ahead of him, but I completely
Yes.
agree with you. Completely agree with you, Brian. And I just hope that we, get to the bottom of it as well as, kind of, not risk him too much because again, we now have that spicy bench in midfield that you're talking about. So we don't need to, risk his whole career like maybe, like Arsenal might be doing with their players like Bukayo Saka. Dermot with a super chat here saying, "Get well soon, David. Come on, you Spurs. Let's win for Dave." I hope at least the Spurs fans, in the away end, are bringing their best cheers because I must say it's probably an intimidating atmosphere, Dermot, but really do appreciate it and appreciate the well wishes for Dave Dermot. Really do, absolute legend. We also have Dark Sun G. Or Adrian Chia, sorry, saying, "Big up, lads. Sorry to hear about Dave. Let's win this. Come on, Adrian." And Adrian, let me know what you kind of think of, the lineup as well, because if you ask me, it's just it's a bit, kind of boring, kind of just, I don't really know what we're going to learn from this apart from maybe Sanchez redeeming himself at left sided center back. If you ask me, I feel like he's not going to redeem himself, but there is that chance. But apart from that, don't really know what we're going to exactly learn from this sort of lineup. Maybe Emerson could, sort of show, things he's been hopefully working on, in training when it comes to crossing and like kind of beating his man off the dribble. But I don't know. Like it's, I hope just they just get 45 minutes in Adrian, and then they bring in the subs like Longley. Hopefully Spence gets maybe 20 minutes or so. That would be kind of nice, a bit of a cameo, and as well as Perisic. I think we're desperate to see Perisic because I did even say this on the pre-match build-up, Brian. We love Sessegnon, but I'm getting a bit tired of watching Sessegnon in this preseason. Like we know what Sessegnon brings. It'd be nice to see something else out there, or even something different from Doherty is left wing back as well. I'm getting a bit tired of that.
Yeah, but Perisic to me is still our signing of the season. I am what he gives and what he brings. No other player that we've signed can do. He is the one I'm really wanting to see, or I've been waiting to see. I think he is gonna by the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it into the Premier League Team of the Year at the end of the season. That's how big of an impact I think this man is going to have. And you look at it, if you bring in, I think he got 8 goals or something and 11 or 12 assists in Serie A last year. If you add that onto what we had last year, that's third place. That's third
Also can
place.
score goals too, which
Uh,
few wing backs can really do as well.
yeah, and just his level of fitness and his strength and his pace. His pace is frightening. It's frightening. He's like the quickest player at Tottenham now. He is such a I think because of the free, he came on a free. I think this signing, not just by Spurs fans, but I think the Premier League and all the pundits and all the people at Sky Sports and ESPN, I think this one is going very much under the radar of just how big a signing this is. So I completely agree with you with the fact that I cannot wait to see what he can do in a Spurs shirt.
Absolutely. And I do hope also Jed Spence gets, a bit of a cameo. I'm not sure we'll really learn anything maybe from that cameo because, when we saw, Kulusevski's, brief cameo, we all thought, he was, an awful signing. Now look at, where he is. So you really can't read too much, I think, into the first like kind of 20, 30-ish minutes, of a player's, kind of debut. But I do want to see Spence because what he is going to bring is that pace and that dynamism kind of down the wing. All I think we know that he's good at. He could actually surprise us with some other skills, but what we know that he is good at is kind of using his pace and his dribbling ability on those wings, and it's something that we're really lacking at this moment in time. It's something that Emerson, I think, is pretty atrocious at. He kind of has to come inside, every time in order to beat his man. He can never take it to the outside. When it comes to Doherty, I think Doherty makes more clever runs than he really, and maybe makes more of a clever pass than he really does, kind of beat his man or anything. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Jet Spence actually come in as well. Dark Sun G saying, I hope Kulu scores and gets his scoring boot ready. Dark Sun G, did you see that preseason kind of training video where Brian, do you know what I'm talking about? He takes it down, with the
With
kind
a
of dink
little,
over the top and training and just finishes at top ends.
oh no, what are you talking about, Kulusevski?
Yeah, Kulusevski in
Oh,
training,
I thought you
sorry.
were talking about Basuma with his shoulder juggling there for a second.
Oh,
That's what I was
all of
going like that.
it.
But yeah, all of it. I mean, Kulusevski is deadly. Do you know what? Until the Aston Villa game, it was very, very. We were wanting to see him cutting on, and use his left foot and score, and obviously he did against the Villa game. And obviously his two goals, he's devastating.
Yeah,
This player, the only word I can say to him is, I mean, and I was one of them. Um, that thought when because I was at the Wolves game with David, and
yeah,
he just looked so slow. He looked so like the pace. He had everything apart from the pace aspect to it. But then it got me thinking. Do you know what? Teddy Sheringham wasn't blessed with pace, and look what Teddy Sheringham could do. And then obviously after he got his feet under the carpet, under the desk, he was just the word I use is devastating.
yeah. Do you think
The
his
impact.
finishing is ever underrated, maybe Kulusevski's? I feel like it
Yes.
is. At first, it looked like he was a bit of an awkward kind of finisher, but I think that's always the case. When you're first playing for a team, you're a bit more nervous, in front of the goal. But there's been some finishes that he's had that you kind of look at it like the reason he got so many goals and assists, or really more goals as well, is because, the guy is kind of a bit of a deadly finisher at times for a winger.
Yep. You're right there. I mean, his finishing. You just got to look at that Norwich goal.
Definitely.
Not a lot of people can, and we're obviously talking not on the tap in the second one that he scored the fourth for Tottenham. Not a lot of people could do that and put that in the top corner like he did.
He
That is
just
a
did it
you
because he wanted to, it almost looked
yeah
like. I remember that goal.
yeah
He just
that
decided to just do that.
he
Yeah,
just drifted in. It's one of those shots where you think, what's he going to do here? Um, and that finish was devastating.
absolutely.
Absolutely, and I think you got to remember the records he was setting. At one point, if he'd got another couple of assists in his first 10 games, he would have had the most assists by anyone in
Mm,
their first 10 games in the Premier League. He got more assists than a lot of people did for the entire season of the Premier League.
wow.
And his shooting just came on leaps and bounds. He is going to be. A lot of people are saying if Zaniola comes in, that they'd have Zaniola ahead of him. I certainly wouldn't. I don't. I can't compare. I can't.
Definitely not.
I can't.
Definitely not.
I can't put my hands on and say I know a load about him. I
I
know a
agree.
bit about him, but for me, I'm one of those that shirt's Kulusevski's, and he loses it when he's playing bad or if he's injured. That's Kulusevski's shirt, and he was instrumental last season in our rise. Instrumental.
If you even look at the Premier League, like how many right wingers does he even lose that shirt to? I mean, not many. Like honestly, he's had that good of an impression on the Premier League. So there you are, Dirk Sunji. I think he is an underrated finisher. So I do expect his scoring boots to be ready come, Southampton. Adrian Chia saying Conte could be testing out his first 11 sharpness. And, we were talking about this earlier on the pre-match buildup where this could be maybe more of a an actual test, an actual kind of more real game scenario in certain moments where this is a packed away side. We're not in front of our home crowd. It's not an easy atmosphere here. Rangers, I think this is their last preseason game before they actually go into their regular
Yep.
season. They just kind of smacked West Ham 3-1. They're kind of coming into this with a bit of momentum, probably at least, a bit of confidence or at least some positivity there. And could be more of a test than we actually realize, and could be more of a real game scenario, if you ask me, where the crowd is kind of against you. The team that you're coming up against is not really going to be playing, I think, at preseason sort of pace. I actually imagine this game to be quite like a fast paced game for some reason. I don't know why, but I just have this odd feeling it could be a bit fast paced. You could expect some hard tackling, I think, too. I think we remember that, in the Sevilla game. I could see it being maybe similar with some hard tackling. I don't know. I think it could be a fascinating game. And this really is probably why, the first 11 sharpness is, maybe being tested, by Conte. He didn't want to go with any debuts like Longley or Spence because he knew that this wasn't going to be an easy game for them to start, or really to at least start the first 45 minutes. What are your thoughts on that, Brian?
Well, again, I mean, it's very hard for me to try to explain to people that aren't from England or Scotland just how bitter this rivalry is.
Uh
In
huh.
anything, it could be a game of tiddlywinks, it could be dominoes, it could be England and Scotland together or against each other is always a huge, huge rivalry. And like you said, Rangers are getting ready for their season next season. So this is their big, so they're a little bit further ahead in their training for obvious reasons,
Right.
and they will go full throttle. This is a huge game for them. I mean, I'm a little bit sad that that Tottenham has stopped doing the week before the season starts a friendly at home, where they before they set the season. But obviously with the World Cup and the Tour of Korea, it kind of put a kibosh on that. But yeah, this is going to be Conte's going to learn a lot from this. He really is. And what I've been saying is what I expect to see from this game is the players that he expects or knows, like let's say a Kane, a Romero, a Son, a Kulusevski will start because of Richarlison being banned. I want to see them get at least 65 minutes
Mm,
because it's all well and good doing these double training sessions, which
yeah.
I'm thoroughly loving that Conte's got them doing them. But there is no substitute for minutes in your legs, like
Yeah.
proper professional minutes. So I
Yeah.
think we're going to get a lot from this. But I expect if Ben Davies' injury is bad or not bad, but rules him out for the first two games, I expect to see Longley come on at half time and then play a lot more against Roma. Because you've got to remember,
That'd be nice.
Longley's only had the week with the squad
Yeah.
because he's only been with them obviously since they came back from Korea. So it's going to take him a little bit of time to integrate. It's going to take him a little bit of time. So he's quite far behind in the training. So I think they might
Mhm.
ramp that up this week
You're right.
if if
They want to
Ben
do it
Davies
quickly, though.
exactly if Ben Davies is not going to be fit for Southampton and maybe even Chelsea as we're led to believe, then I think Longley will heavily feature in Roma. But these are the games now. Like I said, the first two games for me, Jack, in Korea were just okay. Get your fitness levels up, bond with
Through
the
the
team, go and
motions.
do the cultural stuff that you do as a team to bond the
Yeah.
barbecue with Sonny and do all that. And yes, it's fitness, and those minutes in the games. But
Uh-huh.
these two games coming now, where I care about everything: the result, the style of play, the fitness, the performance, everything. The first two games always for me in the start of the season are like, yeah, just bond, get the fitness levels up, and learn each other's style of play. These two games are like the final curtain call before the season starts for me.
Yeah, I agree actually, and I think well said actually, Brian. And it's kind of I sort of echo that. I feel like these are kind of the games that are probably the toughest of the preseason games. These are the ones that you can sort of I don't know, like we like to say read into them, but more or less you could just say that it's not going to be as much through the motions, sort of game where players are just kind of getting their first touches in, trying to kind of just get back into kind of the flow of things. These are kind of, like I said, maybe before, more real game scenarios, maybe in certain stages, might be working on more set piece routines. Perhaps, some of our build up play might be a bit more coordinated, might be a bit more kind of, intentional. Some of the runs or maybe some of the kind of the motions made by Sonny or Harry Kane, and this one might be actually a bit more kind of real game scenario, especially when we're already putting out a real starting 11, like a
Yeah.
starting 11 that you could see in a real kind of competition or in a real game. I expect us to work on some things that could be probably implemented in the actual season. And maybe what I do mean by that is like especially set piece routines if we do get any.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, I'm going to answer this now and very quickly get the kettle on because I didn't realise we're kicking off in 2 minutes and I haven't got a drink, so I'm going to need to
Feel
drink.
free, Brian. And also
Um,
everybody, I was going to say, I forgot to say this. Brian, everybody, his channel link is up. It's pinned in the chat,
Thank
everybody.
you, Jack.
We have the lineups at the bottom of the screen, and then you have Brian's channel, Tottenham on Tour, with the link right there. It doesn't even take you away from the stream. So there's no excuse not to click it and hit
There
that
you go.
big
No
red sub
excuse.
button,
Listen
everybody.
to Jack. There is no excuse. But yeah, but this is just before I go whack the kettle on. I'll literally be
Yeah.
2 minutes. Like the bit I really just picked up on what you said was obviously the set piece coach. He's now had a couple of weeks with the players. He's
Hmm.
now had time to look at his playbook, which is like an encyclopedia, really, of playbooks. And he, like he says, he has the way that he says, I have these plays. Obviously, not every single one suits the team I go to, but what I can do is I can adjust them to suit the players. So, as we know, if you could add like an extra 10-15% of our goals, which could come from set pieces, there could be a huge turnaround in our fortunes this
Yeah.
season. So I'll leave you with that one. I'm going to be 2 minutes whilst I make a cup of tea, and then I'll be right back with you guys.
we're watching all the players, just kind of dapping each other up, getting ready to play. We're looking at a very tan Hugo. He's about to get into goals. Looks like things are about to kick off. Everybody, so do sync up with us. We have our timer here and ready. There is just a slight delay because when it's being put out to YouTube, there's just going to be a slight delay. So if you can and if you want to, feel free to sync up with us and pause with us, everybody. It is a great way to, kind of get, the same reactions, but there really is, no big deal about it. Feel free to just watch it with us, but you do have to score. And we kicked off, everybody. Just sent the timer as well. We have kicked off, and there you are. We have Dyer on the ball. He's just played it off to Bentancur. Plays it out to Emerson. Emerson with a dink little pass and a Harry Kane. Bit saucy from the lads in the beginning here. Emerson cutting inside. Finds Sessignon with a switch ball. Oh, hits kind of the back of Sonny's feet there, but Sess gets stuck. Sanchez gets beat. Lovely by Sanchez. Oh, never mind. Oh wow, bit intense there, boys. Almost kind of some some pretty impressive. Uh, Sorry, I think maybe we have probably a bit of an issue with the scoreboard. So I'm gonna redo it, everybody. Just bear with me. Just give me a second there. Rangers playing back in their half, playing back to McGregor. All won by Sanchez a bit awkwardly. Romero goes for an interesting pass. All right, everybody, just a moment. Gonna get the scoreboard back up and running. Romero knocking it out of play. About to sync up at 2 minutes, everybody. About to sync up at 2 minutes. Real with the throw in. Ball played back to McGregor. Spurs deep in Rangers half here, trying to win the ball very high up the pitch. Dark Sun G with the super chat saying Conte is smart doing 4 games away from home because this season we have a lot of away games and we need to adapt to the away atmosphere. Jose, watch out. It's exactly what I was talking about, Dark Sun G, where Korea was, extremely kind to us. It was basically a home away from home. We were absolutely the home team there. What a sexy pass from Romero there. Sonny kind of went for a left-footed through ball there to Sess, just played a bit too far in front, but absolutely. I think this is, a good atmosphere to be playing in front of Dark Sun G. Completely agree with you, my man. And it would have been probably not very helpful, probably to the Spurs squad if we'd actually played, with, only in front of the home crowd or really only in front of kind of crowds that, probably weren't too toxic or weren't too kind of, intense. And I think you're exactly right, my man. This is good real game scenario kind of things for us. Big up, Welsh Gal. Really do appreciate it. Kulusevski with a shot on goal at McGregor. Corner in for Spurs. Hopefully, set piece routine we might be working on. Something interesting. Kulu doing some strange movements. Sonny with a ball in. Initially won by, looks like Højbjerg. We actually hit somebody's head with a corner for once, which is nice to see. Bentancur with a nice interception. Bentancur finds Emerson. Emerson being taken down. Kulu. Kulu with a nice pass to Bentancur. Went for a first time pass for Højbjerg. But Højbjerg showing that player the weight room, getting stuck in, but doesn't win it. All out wide. I think it's Tavernier. Tavernier? Yeah. I feel like I always listen to other people say it. Wasn't ready to get stuck in there. I think PEH is still looking a bit, kind of, behind the paces there, Ribsy.
And I'm back.
The game looking good for you though, Brian? You able to see it clearly and whatnot?
Absolutely crystal.
Love it. Good to have you, brother. Thank you
Absolutely.
again for filling in. Absolute saint, my man.
Listen, guys. Obviously, Jack, you were a part of Tottenham away when I was, and then obviously we broke Tottenham on tour. Um, and there's always been a very, very strong relationship between the Irish Hotspur channel, yourself,
Like a
and
Canada and an American, like
exactly, exactly. So, especially with what's going on with David, it was you asked. It was never going to be a. There was never ever going to be any other answer except for hell yeah.
Appreciate you, my man. I mean, it's not always easy. Some people just want to watch it, from the sanctity of their own home without, 300 people in the house, watching them, watch the game. And, it's not always easy, but, we appreciate you filling in, and
Well, no,
Harris Army as well. Really do appreciate you guys tuning in with us and, watching it with us. It's such a good community we have here for these watch alongs. And everybody do thank Brian in the chat as well. Sorry, Brian.
that's right. No, I was about to say the thing is that what makes it easier as well is now you've got this way of us watching the exact same time because obviously it's very
Hmm.
very hard. Like well, I've done one with David before and I saw it and I see it every time I watch Sean's. When you see the Leicester game and you're a few seconds behind what's going on,
It's brutal. It's a constant reminder.
there's nothing more frustrating when you're watching a game and people watching it either ahead or behind you. I remember even the Spurs Arsenal game that when we beat the Phil 3-0.
Yeah.
I knew Harry Kane had taken it, scored his penalty before he took it because the app on my phone went off. I was like, oh, it's just so frustrating. So I had to turn my notifications off. But to be able to watch the game at the same time makes it so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
much easier. What did I miss whilst I was
Nothing,
making my
honestly. I
cup of
think
tea?
Spurs were kind of pressing deep up in their half. I was kind of fixing, the timer, for everybody. I mean, nothing really too crazy. In fact, I think Kulusevski just had maybe one good chance. Emerson's had a few, decent moments with the ball where, he played the right pass, but if he were maybe a bit more threatening going forward, he probably could have like taken a shot himself or like something, if you know what I mean by that. Um,
Yeah.
Kulusevski getting taken down, their referee not allowing it.
I tell you what, I asked the question, Jack, at the end of Tottenham on We Are Tottenham TV on the pump up. Who you most looking forward to seeing in the first half, and who you most looking forward to seeing in the second
Good
half? I'll get your
question.
answer in a second, but for me, the first half, I can't wait. This game has got Romero written all over it. The hostility, the aggression,
Hmm.
I, and the second half, I actually said Jed Spence because we know what Basuma,
Interesting.
Perisic, and everything can do. I really want to see what this kid can do. But how about yourself?
I probably might say Kulusevski or Harry Kane though with the what a touch from Højbjerg. Wow, what a
That
touch.
was
Um, but I was gonna say Kulusevski just because he sort of looked like he was just coming back from injury the last game that we saw him
yep.
play against Sevilla. He did look a bit rusty, a bit kind of clunky might be the right word, honestly, the way that he looked in that game. And then in this one, he's saucing. He's absolutely rolling his defender like a
Yep.
washing machine there. It's beautiful to see. Harry Kane kind of ran into a corner there. Harry maybe kind of hurt himself or put himself in a bad spot there, but beautiful turn from
That was.
Kulusevski.
He's looking sharp, isn't he?
Yeah, made the defender. Oh, getting dinked.
Mhm.
Actually, a nice bit of a touch from the right back from for Rangers. But Kulusevski to answer it, And then second half, I gotta say Spence as well. I just, I do want to see it just to see something different at right wing back. Like I
Yep.
said to you before, I feel like we know what Sessegnon and Emerson are sort of going to be like. We know that they're trying to improve on the things that, we know they're not so great at. But, it'd just be nice just to see something different. So I agree with you with Spence. That would be mine.
Sonny getting fouled there in his own half, but it was only a tug, so it's a free kick to Tottenham. Is it me or does Højbjerg look a lot more trimmer?
I think Harry Kane looks a lot more trimmer as well, but you're right. Maybe Højbjerg does too.
Oh,
Ball lost though in the midfield, and I think this is what's his name, Kent,
oh, there's
and he just gets
Romero.
absolutely outclassed by
It's like
Romero.
us, this guy.
What a prediction by Brian there. You're
This
absolutely right, Brian. Who doesn't want to watch Romero? Who doesn't
honestly,
want to watch him?
honestly, he is. I think it by the end, and is that him again? Yep.
Oh, sir! What do you mean, ref?
This guy, honestly,
Specsavers. No wonder you're sponsored by Specsavers, ref. Jesus.
I honestly
There's no
reckon
way he
he's
doesn't get stuck in here.
against
Ref!
the ball. He blatantly. Let's have a look close up.
That's so
Oh,
ironic. It's not even ironic that the referee is sponsored by Specsavers. He needs to be sponsored by Specsavers because at least, it makes me know that, he's in need of some because, ref, he's just got clean in there.
I'm sorry, but how could the FA allow the referees to be sponsored by Specsavers? How could the that is just I mean, obviously that shows money talks because could you I mean, the
It's
most
so
look
unbelievable. It really is. Yeah, the audacity. The audacity. Yeah.
it's like getting Stevie Wonder sponsored by them as well. It's like what's the what is the point? But now I got the free kick. They've got a very good free kick taker. And oof,
How do you say it again? Is it Tavernier? Tavernier? How do you say it?
so I would say it's Tavernier.
Tavernier?
Or
Say it again.
no, that's how I would say it. Exactly how you just said Tavernier.
Tavernier. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I like that. Much easier.
Whether it's right, like, but people know
Because
my
we
name
have a
Jack.
Lavigne, and that's
Yeah.
where, I get a bit, is it a
My God, Jack
Tavernier?
coming to me for how to pronounce names. Jesus
I
Christ,
know
what
it.
kind of parallel universe have I stepped into?
Specsavers refs, Jack coming to you for nickname or if you know how to pronounce names. We're in an alternate universe right now.
I'm
Sanchez,
glad
not
you
an
stopped.
alternate universe.
Oh
Oh,
no,
showing him the weight room.
well
You
done,
love to see it. Love it, Sanchez.
well done, Sanchez. Well done, Dav.
The angle made it look like he was
He
beat
looked
there,
like
but
got
he
burned.
definitely wasn't. He definitely wasn't. I think he did have he had that under control. We're gonna say. Oh, Bentacore, love that. Still putting a foot in.
Rangers are starting to get a bit more of the ball, though, aren't they? Well done, Emerson. Lovely cushioned header back to Lloris there.
Patty Higgins wants to see Perisic in a Spurs shirt. I think everybody wants to be seeing that.
I think we will at halftime. I think there'll be wholesale changes.
Oh, moon boots with a heavy touch there. Kent. Oh, Kent is just getting absolutely destroyed by some of our players here. He's just getting read like a book.
He is.
I want to eat my words here, though. Ball in. Sanchez. Clear that,
Well
Emerson.
played.
Lovely.
Good defensive play there.
Barisic. I think Shamu knows him. He plays for I think the Croatian national team.
Yeah, I think Rangers unfortunately are starting to get a bit more time on the ball and
Yes, yeah,
have
you're
been a
right.
better team.
In the last, in the last maybe 5 minutes, yeah, they've had a
Yeah.
good spell of the ball. You're absolutely right. They are a very progressive team, I think, in the way that they do play. That's kind of
Yep.
what made them, maybe so good in the Europa League was they didn't play like maybe a Scottish team you would expect them to. Or beautiful dink over the top, dinks over Sanchez,
It's a
ball
great ball.
in. Oh,
Lloris read it well. They started to see. It looks like it's coming from the left down Davidson's side, doesn't it?
maybe so, but that's also where Tavernier, like you said, who's one of
Yep.
their best players, kind of makes sense maybe that it's coming down that side.
But hey ho, this time in 2 weeks, I'll be making my way to the Scotland. Oh no, I'll be at the Scotland Yard. This time in 2 weeks, Spurs would have been playing 15 minutes against Southampton.
Crazy. And does it kind of make you? I know we'll probably get interrupted by something brilliant, hopefully, but in the next 5 seconds. But it's kind of lovely that we do have so many signings in
Yep,
because what I keep hearing on Talk Sport these days is like every team they're like they need to do business. They have 2 weeks left. They still need to do
yep.
this. They still need to do this. When it comes to Spurs, we're like we need a center back and hopefully we get a creative midfielder. That's kind of like we're the state that we're in like right now. Where I know we still want, some extra players, but at least nobody else is like panicking. It seems like,
No.
that Spurs, and that's what's kind of nice to see. We're not a lapping stock, right now when it comes to talk sport or anything. But
Okay, Harry Kane's out to Em.
Sass is a good ball in theory. It
It
was a good
was
ball in theory there, but it was
Harry
a good
Kane ain't
ball,
there to.
across the sticks.
Harry Kane played the ball out to Cess, so he couldn't get back in time.
The
I
one thing I
don't.
do like with how Conte's, 3-4-3 is that when you do get the ball into a player like Harry Kane and he does, turn his marker like we saw Kulu,
Yep.
there's so much acres of space, you
Yeah.
have available. Kulu, get stuck in, my man. Sir, you better not. Oh, ref. Jeez, ref.
Played the
I mean,
advantage,
he's
although it weren't a
if he
foul.
wants to go on a 70-yard run with Kulu right behind him, I mean, that's not Kulu's fault.
Exactly. Okay, Rangers in
Here
the
we go.
penalty. Oh,
To nobody.
miscommunication. Yeah, but like you say, with the acres of space,
Oh,
when you got to play, when you got a pass like Harry Kane, you want to try and facilitate that space, don't you? Because he can
you
pick
want there
out
to
a
be
pass.
players, yeah, with space. Yeah.
He'll find you. Most definitely find you. Get a
Might
little bit
be
concerned about how Rangers are easily containing us in
It's
our
true.
final third.
This is sort of how, I mean, this is how we have always sort of played, to be honest. We do like, kind of, letting teams, deep into our half and then kind of
Yep.
exposing them. But you are right. You are right. Tavernier with a shot into easily into Lloris's arms. Hopefully we do actually get a good bit of spell of possession here because I'm with you, Brian. I'm okay with seeing this for 5 minutes. That's what I think we've experienced. It's now more like 7 minutes. I think
Yep.
that we've seen them deep in our half. But once it gets longer than that, like once it gets further than 10 minutes without us having a good spell of possession, it is worrying.
It
I
is.
think they're
It is.
just winning. We're trying to play these very dangerous passes that if we pull them off, we open them up. But they're winning those passes. We're playing these passes into Harry Kane, into Hoiberg, that are kind of dangerous passes that, could lead to something. But it seems like Rangers are, able to win it, or at
Yeah.
least
I mean,
able to to
I, th-
to, to read it.
I think the good thing with this is at least I'd
Okay,
rather
here we
this
go.
at all. Kulusevski on the break from a Hurricane header.
Good pass
Emerson.
there, Emerson. Do something with it, please. Step over. Has a shot.
Yeah.
No step
Well,
overs.
no
I
step
was
off.
predicting stepovers. Why no
Oh, what a
stepovers there?
tackle
What
by
a win by
Bentancur.
Bentancur. What a
What a
win.
tackle. Now,
Come on,
Cess,
Sess. Ugh, I feel like
just
you got time there, Sess. All right.
yeah, he just,
But maybe though, yeah, like you were saying, we haven't had a lot of possession. Maybe Sess just wants to,
yeah, maybe,
keep possession there.
maybe,
Poor pass from Romero, but he's going to try to win it back for us.
but yeah, that Emerson shot. I mean, no step overs. Didn't know what he was doing, and then the shot straight to the
I
first.
wanted this. I think I like that he shot it, Brian, but I wanted him to do at least two stepovers, at least two, before he took that
Like the
shot.
Timothy Atuba days where he did about 28.
But he would have helped himself, slow down, get those Emerson stepovers in, and then have a nice crack, far post. I think it would have worked out for him, but he got a bit anxious there, as we all know our fullbacks do. All of our wingbacks, probably apart from Perisic,
I,
get
I,
so angsty in like the box. They get so like, frightened. Regulon does. Sessignon, I think, does. Not when it comes to like playing a pass. I feel like when Sessignon's in the box, he plays the right pass. But when it comes to shooting, he's, gets a bit nervous. Emerson getting absolutely taken by Kent.
yeah, I think when it comes to Brazilians, I think the first thing they learn to do as a kid is a step over. Forget learning how to speak Portuguese or how to walk or it's like, "Here's a ball.
He
You're
did
not
his
being
first
fed."
step over at 13 months.
Exactly, that's what they know. Forget your first tooth, your first word, your first, "Oh my god, he's done his first step over." That's it.
The deep shot from Lundstrom, who formerly played for Sheffield, I believe.
I
And he
swear
also
that
scored that winning goal to get them into the Europa League final, I think.
Lundstrom, it sounds like such a movie, villain name, doesn't it?
It really does, actually. It really does, especially Bond film. It could be like a Bond
Exactly,
film
exactly.
villain. You're right.
Professor Lundstrom or something, it's not.
Oh, good winner. Good win by
Ah,
Sanchez
straight
there.
back out though.
But
Cross comes in. Hugo with a punch.
Lloris palms it, recycled by Kamara, I believe.
Thank God they're getting in the areas. They're just doing nothing with it, really, aren't they, Jack? Just
Hmm.
seem to be literally holding the ball, and I'd love to see the
What's
possession.
isn't that sort of been the story though of when we came up against teams like Man City and Liverpool, right? Where especially in that second Liverpool game, I do mean, like where it felt like right, they were just sort of passing it around in our half, but they weren't really like actually creating anything. Like it was just sort of like they could put you to sleep. In fact, like
Yeah,
with some of the passes, and then we just win the ball. Then all of a sudden, like maybe right here, and then we're going like this, and hopefully Harry Kane finds
Kulu-
Kulusevski.
okay, here we
Kulusevski
go.
coming in. Kulu cuts
Oh,
inside.
he tried to get it on his left.
He wanted it on his left. He could
Oh,
have tried the
Emerson, is
right.
there going to be a step
Emerson.
over? No,
No, no,
he
that's not a
won't.
step over situation for him there. He seems to be getting rid of the step overs. Bentancur gives it to Hoiberg. Finds Sanchez. Sanchez finds Bentancur.
Here comes Romero, the god.
Nice pass into Sonny. This is what's nice about Romero though, is that he always tries to play a pass that actually does something, as a center back. And that's
It's
why
just
we
palm
did
me the
want the
right now.
Bastonis. That's why we
Right,
want the Bastonis and the Longley. Actually, Longley will do that from left-sided center back. He is a good passer.
yeah. In that passage of play, when you say Romero was more
Oh,
advanced than
win
Harry Kane,
this.
then you got to worry.
You better
Oh,
win
what a
this,
tackle by
Sanchez. And
Sanchez!
Moon
What a
Boots, you better
tackle!
win this as well. Thank you, Moon Boots.
Great tackle by Sanchez. Great tackle.
Unbelievable. Saved Eric Dyer's ass there.
Yep,
That's actually for once as well. It's nice to see Sanchez saving Dyer.
true, true. Maybe we found our new left centre back. We had it all. We
This
had
is
it
the
all along.
tequila 316. This is the Sanchez redeeming moment. Don't this is a he laughed at me when I said that Sanchez redeem. He laughed, but who knows? Maybe he might redeem himself at left side center back. You never know, my man. You
You know
never
what?
know.
Again, Leighton's feeling like us as well.
It's an
Leighton
alternate
Evelyn.
universe, like we established earlier, Brian. Like I'm asking you for pronunciations,
Yeah,
and everything. We're experiencing an alternate universe, anyways.
Rangers. Unfortunately, for people that aren't watching this or able to watch this and listening to us, yeah, I think we've got to face that. Rangers have been the better team, and it's been 23 minutes now.
Absolutely.
23 minutes, but I think the wholesale changes in the second half. Um, we're going to see the big boys come, or more of the big boys come out.
Absolutely.
Goal!
Oh,
Rangers 1-0.
sorry, I
It's
was off
been
screen as well. I was off screen as well.
it's been coming. It's been
Shit.
coming, and now it has come. So
This is the first time we've gone down as well.
so now we see how it responds. So it's bad. It's bad. I mean, we were saying it's coming, and nothing Lloris could do. It started on the wide,
Sessegnon, it's decent
then a
one-on-one
cross come in,
defending,
and then
and it's whatever happened there.
yeah,
Let's see
there's
this. I
a
didn't get
mix
to
up
see it,
in
everybody.
defence.
Sorry, I was off screen there. I was off screen. But let's see here. Ball comes across.
Oh, it's a back heel. That's a
Back
very
heel.
well worked goal.
Was that by Tavernier as well, the back heel? Might have been.
Let's have a look. But it's a very well worked goal. What I thought, yeah, it's a very well worked goal. And Spurs are 1-0 down. That's To start with, I thought it
Some
was like a
Cholak.
mix up with defence, but that was a great bit of play by Rangers. Fair play. Um, and now we've got to back our ideas up. Oh, Lloris,
Jeez.
mate, I honestly,
Harry Kane, pass
oh,
into Sonny. We're in behind here.
Kulu, look at Kulu, look at
Sonny,
Kulu, look at
Sonny,
Højbjerg.
Højbjerg!
Oh,
Ah! God, he can't finish. Højbjerg.
he's like Didier Zakora, mate, when it comes to finishing.
Oh, he does everything else right. He makes that run. But oh, why Højbjerg?
That
I would
that's
have given it to Kulu. I would have given it to
oh,
Kulu there,
I'm completely agreed
but
with you.
I think maybe that's what Højbjerg's saying. But I still think Højbjerg's got to do better with that. At the end of the day, he could still finish that. Like it's not really.
I
Maybe give
think
it to Kulu there, but I don't even know. That's
well,
tough.
when it comes to it as well, I think Son could have passed the ball a bit earlier to make Kulusevski the option. I think Højbjerg's run in kind of cut off Kulusevski, but you still expect Højbjerg, a player of his ability, or anyone who's playing football, to be able to at least get that on target. At least get that on target, but he didn't, and it is what it is.
They beat West Ham 3-1.
Four
Brian.
one, I believe,
Should we?
wasn't it?
No, 3-1.
Oh, my
It should
bad.
have been 4-1. It should have been 4-1, though. You're right. Bit worried here, maybe.
Oh God.
Oh, and it's a
Do you know
getting
what is
very lucky
concerning
there.
me?
A lot of deflections in those
What
situations, but
what is concerning me now is, and I know this is a pre-season friendly, and I know, but Rangers are going into their first game of the season. We're approaching, and our defence,
the
um,
defense is shocking. It
yeah,
really
the
is.
defence have been. I won't go far. I think Sanchez started off okay, but I think it's highlighting that we need to shop. We need to shop. We like you were saying before, we've done a lot of our shopping, which is fantastic by the club, and it's been a great start
But we need a
getting the
center
bodies
back.
in. But we need not just a defender, we need a marquee.
Yeah,
Like I
agreed.
said, Joe, I said yesterday, Sean, on Sean's show, Jack, and I don't know if people in the chat will agree with me. I'm People said, "Oh, am I happy with the transfer market or our transfer business?" And I said, yeah, I am, because we got bodies in early and we got bodies to fit positions that we need. But apart from like the Perisic one, which I go on about, none of them are like earth shattering. None of them are like, you know, what I mean, it's like all the Premier League, like, oh my God, Spurs got Richarlison, they've done their business early, but there's not been like a Hakimi, a Bastoni, where
I
where
think
where.
Basuma was sort of like because he's a top four
Oh no,
midfielder.
he is.
Kulusevski, I just want to say, is just putting these guys through and he's going in. He's still going. Find Harry. Harry, get stuck under his feet.
Got
Kulu.
Kulu. Oh, good save is the corner. Kulusevski is running the show
He
for
is
us
just
on our
turning these
point.
guys with that outside the foot touch. He's just hitting them with that outside the foot touch, to his right, and he is just mixing them with that every
He
time.
is.
Honestly, it's the Kulusevski mixing bowl today.
He is
Gorgeous.
indeed. I'll go
But
back to my point.
just to say, just to keep you on that point, Brian. David said earlier today, if he could only have a creative midfielder or a marquee creative midfielder or a or a marquee center back, he said I would rather have a marquee center back.
Yeah,
If I only had one signing left, and I think I agree with him.
I completely agree. I mean, I completely. It's the thing I want. Well, when I say, just
Oh,
over the bar,
Romero. Oh, this
just
just came
over the
too
bar.
quickly. Just came
Yeah, I
too
think he
quickly
got a
at his head.
deflection onto him. But yeah, go back to it. Like I said, if we signed an Hakimi, if we signed a Bastoni, if we signed a Madison, talking of attacking midfielders, if with the rumours going, those are signings to me that the Premier League go, oh my God, Spurs mean business. Kind of, this is a player and a half. All the players that we've got, like, don't get me wrong, Basuma can kind of, but I want an elite player, and I think Bastoni or Akimi definitely fit into that bracket. And with James Madison, you'd be like, right, there's the creativity that we've been dying
Yeah,
to have, and he can do it in the Premier League, and it'll be exciting. These signings have been good. Don't get me wrong.
lovely
There's just
Tua.
not that wow factor.
Come on, Emerson. Do something here,
Oh,
Emerson.
step
Please.
over. Oh,
Please.
miss out.
Outside the
Oh
foot.
my
Interesting.
God, Emerson brought all aboard the showboat. Emerson with
Ball,
an outstep
he
of the
can't even
foot.
do an inside the foot cross, let alone an outside the foot cross. But we'll take it. Dyer plays to Sanchez. Sessegnon, right-footed pass into Kane. Sanchez with a ball into Højbjerg. Oh, it's not
Look at
even that
Sanchez
poor.
go.
Sanchez hasn't looked that terrible this game. I'll be honest. This has been his best 30
Uh,
minutes so far. This has been his best 30 minutes so far this preseason.
Big up. I just got to say, whenever I see it, my big brother, or I'm older than him, so my little brother, my right hand man, Mr. Danny Kiriakou, is in the
He's in the
chat. So
chat.
big
Love it.
up, Danny. I love you to pieces, brother. And hopefully you'll be free to speak to me today. Trying to get hold of him recently, I would have more chance of
Is
winning
it
the
becoming
lottery.
where's Kiriakou? Where's Waldo?
Yeah, no, it's becoming. Put it this way, I've got more chance of winning the lottery tonight here in Canada, and I haven't got a ticket than speaking to Danny Kiriakou this week. It's been very very hard to get hold of him, but hopefully today will be the day.
Well, I'm about to head to, kind of a micro brewery in Brooklyn later, Brian. And I know you were saying, where's Kiriakou? And it just made me think, with Danny's bun, his really nice sense of style and everything. That would be another where's Kiriakou moment. He'd probably have like 30, identical lookalikes, in that microbrewery I'm about to go into.
There you
So,
go.
uh,
Tell one of them to head over to
all the
Toronto.
best, Danny. All the best, though.
Tell one of them to head over to Toronto. So I've got a mini Danny.
There you
Everyone
go.
in the world should have a mini Danny.
Probably that's why you're finding it hard to find him. There's so many other Dannys,
Yeah.
in the world out there. But Sonny, with a beautiful turn, finds Sass. Sass takes it to the outside. Okay, finds Sonny again. Recycles it to Højbjerg. Højbjerg goes back to Sass here. We have Sonny.
Oh, the
1-2
phone
with
came.
Kane.
Oh,
Well, won by
go on, Ben.
Moonboots.
Oh,
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 sir! Moonboots wins it again. Have a crack.
go on, have another one. He got
Have
excited.
a crack.
Jesus,
Oh, he takes it off the chest, the keeper. Very Neuer style.
mate, he has got his shooting boots on this season.
We've actually had a lot of shots on goal, to be fair to us. We have had a lot of shots on goal, or at least I think 3 that I can recall. But like where the keepers had to make a save
Yeah,
is what I mean.
that's
Um,
bad goalkeeping. I think he kind of went to catch
no,
it,
he
but
kind of
tipped it
Neuer.
in.
I think he kind of like Neuer sometimes does that, where it's too fast to like take it,
Oh, heavy
into the
touch.
chest. So you kind of just, almost like bump it. It was a bit poor goalkeeping, but I've seen Neuer do that. But Kavkov Gaming saying getting out played off the park by Rangers, ridiculous. I would just say we'll just see how the rest of this 15 minutes goes, my man, and then you probably might be right. Welsh gal, appreciate it though,
You got Wilshy.
Kavkov. Welsh gal saying she's got the IPAs in hand. Absolutely lovely, absolutely lovely. You're going to need the IPAs, or at least need something bubbly, to help yourself. Welsh gal in these stages, even I must say,
Oh,
Harry Kane.
how,
1-on-1 with the keeper. Oh, saved again.
I was just about to say Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does, and then he shot and hit the goalkeeper. So Harry Kane
That
doesn't
look,
do
we'll
what
see the
Harry.
save here, I guess. I don't like these angles that Spurs play use. I feel like they're too like
Yeah,
how am I supposed to tell anything from that?
it is a bit bizarre their camera work, isn't it? On the replays,
And maybe he went for the low finish, to the opposite side, but not the greatest
but
of finishes there.
but once again, it's Kane and Son. The pass from Son into Kane, their wavelengths are you just can't compare them to anyone. Corner
Sunny
comes
ball
in. Oh, I
in.
missed. It's a great ball, but it misses everyone. Everyone.
That was tough.
It was a
No,
very very
it
good
looks. I'm
delivery.
liking. We look dangerous from set pieces. I must say.
It shows that the coach is doing his thing already.
Maybe so. Spurs pressing high here. Kamara plays it out wide to Barisic to Kent, won by
I
Romero.
swear, I thought you just said Perisic. I was like, is he on?
I wish I did,
I was
but
like, what
Barisic.
have I
I
missed?
should have pronunciated better. Barisic. Very tough there. Good point there, Brian. Similar.
Very very similar.
That's Lundstrom. Or no,
It's
it
you and
wasn't.
your
But
itches.
hopefully there are more itches on the pitch. We need an itch at
Oh,
this stage. Shown the
that
weight room though by Sanchez.
big time.
I mean, you can't have a touch like that and expect to, be given everything, Lundstrom. Here we go. Sonny coming inside. Sir! Ref!
This game's going to start getting spicy. They're targeting Son, obviously.
I need to see a card there, ref. I'm going to need to see the card. Ref, he had a shocking touch. He got mad after he got shown the weight room, and then he decided to take it out on our man Sonny there. It's not appropriate, ref. I'm going to need to see the cards. At least I hope you have the cuffs as well. Jesus, ref. It's just a friendly here.
Specsavers. Every time I see that, it's
He's
got.
squinting as well, the referee. Like, he needs spec savers. He can barely see what's in front of him here.
Oh, it's that good old Bond villain Lundstrom. What do you expect? What do you expect
Oh,
from the Bond
how
villain?
is he letting him away with that, sir?
He is a unit and a half, though.
No, he hit him hard there.
Okay, so we've got a free kick that Min Son is about to take. Indirect, obviously, it's about 50 yards out. So,
I didn't get to see it. Poor delivery.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you say it was a poor delivery. There was just no running into it. I think it was
Mm.
slightly overhit, but it went into the dangerous area. Just no one's there to take it. But we shall see. So, Jack, halftime, you expect to see wholesale changes?
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah. Maybe he keeps Kane and Son on. Perhaps takes off one of them.
Up. Oh no, Emerson's got it. Emerson.
You better take care of this.
What?
Jeez, why are you making
What
that
up?
harder on yourself?
He did. His first touch did make it harder on himself.
No, what he did
Yeah.
though is that he slowed down. I don't think he needed to slow down. I think you sprint to that ball, you take a nice touch there, and then you get yourself more time by slowing down. He invited the man, to have more pressure on him.
Yep.
But
There's a cluster of
a
Spurs
poor
players
touch from poor touch
warming up
there,
next to it. Yeah, going back to the second.
sir.
I expect to see. I think Kane and Son will get 60, 70 minutes because they've got to get the minutes in their legs now. It's all about getting the minutes in their legs ready for Southampton. But there's a cluster of Spurs fans just by the ball now on the touchline doing their warm ups. So maybe we will be seeing this cluster coming at half time. And I can see a Brian Hill in there. I can see a Richarlison. Oh, Hugo. Oh my God.
Oh,
Honestly,
Lord.
do you know what? I'm going to say it again. Every time the ball goes back to Hugo, I'm on the verge of a heart attack. Honestly, his distribution and he has
It's
got
just
the
his first
worst
touch. That's all it
distribution.
is. It's just
It's
I
not
think
just
he
that.
actually doesn't have he doesn't have a bad ping on him from time to time, but it's that
Yeah,
first touch. It's that first touch. It's
the
so
pings on him are
scary.
fine, but playing from the back and then when he's kicking it out of pressure, my 3-year-old niece has better ball control and distribution.
I agree.
He
I think that first touch is more important than the ping often because with that first touch, it buys you more
yeah.
time. Buys you way more time that first touch if you get it right.
Don't get me wrong, Hugo Lloris, the shot stopper, is out of this world and right up there. The
Yeah, it's still a
only
human
thing, the
cat.
only thing that drives me mad with Hugo Lloris is his distribution. That's it. And Conte does not look happy. Do you know what? When Conte doesn't look happy, I'm sure the players ask the fourth official just put up like 12 minutes. Don't let me go to that room. Don't let me go into that room with one. He is
Especially
gonna.
preseason, you don't
Yeah,
want it. You don't want the halftime. Kind of lessons from Conte to be.
exactly.
Oh, sir,
Mate,
sir.
they've got. Do you know what? They're doing this to Kulusevski time after time after time. Who, for me,
Kulusevski, I think, has been the brightest. I think he has been the brightest though
that's exactly what I
of
was
all
about to
the
say. I was
forwards.
about to ask you that. Who do you think in this first half has been? And for me, it's definitely been Kulusevski.
I think Højbjerg has actually looked a lot better this one, and it's just like classic Højbjerg though, where he does a lot of things right this game, and then misses that chance to score right, and then people
Yep.
will sort of not give him maybe the credit that he probably might deserve, or I don't know. Like he just does that to himself. He does that to himself at the end of the day. Like he'll play a great game, and then he'll miss the great opportunity, for people to, kind of give him some praise and some
Oh,
worship.
here we
But
go.
great ball from Sonny.
Emerson.
Emerson, ball across, a great ball
You,
from
you
Emerson,
know,
actually.
fair play, Emerson. That was a phenomenal ball. One
Good
touch
touch
in.
here.
There's no doubt his crossing has got better. There's no
It's
doubt.
looking a lot better. We make fun of his crossing now that it's good, actually. We're making fun of his crossing for being good now
I
because
mean,
he did that outside the foot cross, which actually wasn't a bad cross either, to
and
be fair
that
to him.
cross just now was a beautifully whipped in ball.
It
Just wish
almost
there
would
was
be an
no.
own goal there if,
It
it
could
was
have been,
defended
yeah.
well.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm got to say, I'm one of the lucky ones. I was at Spurs Crystal Palace with Simeon on Boxing Day, where Emerson actually crossed the ball from Mora to score. So I wanted to get a T-shirt saying I was
that's a
there when
rarity.
Emerson made a rake. When Emerson,
I was there.
when Emerson got assist.
I was there.
But yeah,
It's like,
his cross.
it's like witnessing the 61-62 side, it's like it's a rarity,
Well, do
these
you remember,
days,
Jack, on your show? Not this week, on the week before, when we were talking about Emerson, I was saying like under a pre-season under Conte, I think he may improve and surprise a few people, Emerson. And tell you the truth, mate, look, he had that bad touch in defence just now, where, like you said, he might have been able to pick up a bit of pace and take the ball away from the defender. But the crosses he's put in, 2 for 2 in a
I
positive
just feel
way.
like he hasn't looked as bad as people want to think that he has, this preseason. I actually think he's looked decent in certain stages this
Yep,
preseason.
I
He's
would
looked a
agree.
lot better. Maybe what I mean to say is this is how it's probably better to frame it. He looks a lot better than what he did last season, like
Oh,
already.
without a doubt.
Yeah, maybe that's what we're trying to say, which probably isn't a huge improvement. I think what we're probably saying is he looks more like a right wing back now,
Yeah.
the way that he's been playing. But there's still a lot of improvement to go for sure. But Sanchez, nice pass into Harry Kane here. Harry
Oh,
Kane with
lovely
a
little
back
flick.
heel. Find Sonny.
God.
Sonny. Oh,
Oh, it was underneath him.
kind of bobbled. It kind of
Yep.
bobbled in front of him, and he had to just smack it with that second touch. But you do kind of look at Kulu, Son, and Kane. I must say, like the fact that Kulu is actually the worst of the finishers is really
Yeah.
unbelievable when you do
Do
look
you know
at
what? What a wonderful way to look at it. What a wonderful way to look at it. And how
world class
frightening is
finishers,
that?
deadly finishers. Like I would say, Son is cold blooded. He's one of the most cold blooded one on one
Yes.
finishers I've ever, especially one on one. Just so cold blooded he is.
Ice in his boots, ice in his
Uh,
veins.
Good touch
Oh,
from
God,
Sanchez.
Davinson.
Again, Sanchez has looked the best of the center backs. I'll be honest, and people are thinking like, well, this is what happens when Dave is gone, for a watch long. All of a sudden, Sanchez is getting some compliments. But
It,
I
it's
feel
just,
like Sanchez, I'll be honest, has looked a lot better. He's just looked a lot better this game, and
yeah,
I
and it's
bet he's
weird that
about
it's
to
on the
prove me wrong.
left. It's weird that it's on the left.
He's just played some nice progressive passes. He's defensively, I would say he's not looked tremendous, but he did save Dyer at one stage. Credit
Yep,
to
that was a
him,
great tackle.
and he's played some nice
Aimless
progressive
balls.
passes.
Aimless balls in the middle of the park.
I just feel like, yeah, he's played some nice passes for the time.
Well, put it this way, we've seen a lot more from Emerson than we have Sessignon in both aspects. So I
Lovely
wouldn't be.
Sanchez,
Wait, Sanchez is on fire.
lovely Hoiberg. If he keeps possession here, then I'm gonna. All right, let's hopefully we keep possession here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna
We have
have
so
to.
much
Do you know
time.
what? I wouldn't be upset if we saw Romero, Emerson come out for the second half, but I think it's Perisic time.
I think it's Perisic needs to come on for either Sess or Emerson.
So Jack, if you were
Actually, I
making
don't
sub,
even want to see more than 45 minutes of Emerson. Like, I think Emerson has shown me that he's just improving. That's all I can say. He's just improving.
yeah.
What a pass.
Oh,
What a pass. What a
and
pass. And Bentacore
Bentancur.
running, galloping like a full blown horse here.
And
Here
look
we
who's
go.
next to him. Emerson, give it to Emerson.
Find Emerson.
Oh, go on,
Emerson,
Emerson.
have a shot, please. Just
Oh, no,
shoot. Oh, my
there you
Lord.
go.
Just shoot.
There's that lack of confidence.
Just
There's the
shoot.
lack of confidence. But it's come to Dyer now. Sonny on the edge of the area, easily dispossessed.
Oh, Emerson.
Do you
Please.
know what I don't get with that? Emerson made such a huge run to get out there and support him,
Why would you
and then he
play
did
back?
support him and gets the ball, and then you didn't shoot. When you
What
get
a
in those
tackle by
positions, you're
Romero.
going to have to take the shot on.
You're
Have
right,
to.
Brian. You're right, Brian.
I mean, you
You're right.
busted a gut to get there. What, to just pass it straight back?
Why didn't he shoot? Lads, everybody in the chat, why didn't he shoot? Great
Go on,
touch from
Kulu.
Kulusevski. Great touch from Romero.
Romero was. This got Kulu on
Oh,
your. Oh, penalty!
sir!
Penalty!
You just smacked him there. That's a
I think it
pen,
is a
or
pen.
it's at
I
least
think it
right
is a
there on the
pen.
top of the box there. Sir!
Is it a pen or has it just been outside? But that was
Might be just outside. Might be just
why the hell
outside,
did
but
Romero all of a sudden just pop up outside the edge of the area? I don't know how he does it.
just to do that layoff to him as well, just to lay it off. I mean, honestly, you'd think it was another number 9 up there.
Yeah, it's outside. It's just outside. He died.
Yeah, his
He's
foot was on
landing.
the
Yeah.
top of the box. Yeah.
Right. Let's see if this free kick specialist has done any work with us, or is it going to be
Ah, good
hurricane,
opportunity for some. Please,
a
please, please,
hurricane
no Harry
deflected
Kane.
free kick?
Please, please, no.
He's on a roll.
Please, no Harry Kane to play free
He's
kick. Come on.
standing over it. Yep,
Ah,
he is.
please. Why? Please, why?
As,
Why?
as me and Danny Kiriakou sing
Why?
when we're together at the lane, it's hitting the wall, it's hitting the wall,
Sonny is
Harry
Sonny like trying
Kane.
to remind him that it wasn't even his goal. It went off Doherty. Is that what he's trying to remind him? It's like, dude, you didn't even score that. Like you just got lucky there. Like, please give me the free kick. Just like even Sonny with his left foot here would be better. Sonny with his left foot here would be better.
Oh, it looks like it might be sunny. Or we're going to see a brand new set piece routine.
Oh, if they have a chance to curl it around, if they were good enough, they could try to curl it around, De Bruyne style.
Let's have a look. It's Harry Kane, and it hit our own player.
And
And
we've
he's got his hands in
smacked
his
Sanchez in the ear.
he's got his hands in his head like he thought he
We
was.
gave Sanchez the free kick routine was to give Sanchez a concussion. I think that seemed to be the routine there for Spurs.
Do you know
But
what? If Danny's still watching, if Danny is still, yeah, he is. He is watching. Danny,
halftime,
it's hitting the wall. It's hitting the wall. Harry Kane, you're hitting the wall. Why? I don't understand why. Now listen, I know he's Tottenham captain. Or not, sorry, top. He's our talisman. He's England captain. He's Tottenham vice captain. If I was a Tottenham player, I would literally have. I don't think players have got the balls to go. Do you know what, Harry? You're shit at free kicks. You're shit.
just
You're
need
not taking
somebody
them.
to just tell him, it's kind of like, that outfit doesn't work. I'm sorry, like orange doesn't look good on you. It's kind of just one of those things, you just got to be honest, with, somebody, it's it's getting a bit tormenting. I don't know, torturous, Brian. I don't know what the right word is because it's turning into something where it's like the definition of, insanity. It's like trying the same thing
Yep.
repetitively and knowing you're only going to get the same result. It's turning into torture. It's turning into torment. I don't even know what to say. Like if it, I'd rather Sonny hit Sanchez in the face with that ball instead of Harry Kane because I know Harry Kane is going to hit Sanchez in the face with that, but Sonny at least might not, or I'd rather see Sonny. Give Sonny the opportunity to give Sanchez a concussion. From the free kick. At least have Sonny have the opportunity. Why does Kane have to give Sanchez a concussion on every free kick? It's a bit unfair. I feel like some other players should get that opportunity. Dark Sun G saying, Kane, no more free kicks. You're our pen taker. That's it. Give it
Yeah.
to Sonny. He's already our pen taker. Why does he need to take the free kicks as well, Brian?
Well, for the life of me, I can't work it out. For the life of me, it's like literally, if you look at Harry Kane, he scored his first free kick against Aston Villa, deflected. The next free kick he scored was in the K League, and it's deflected. Both his free kicks are deflected. A majority of his free kicks hit the fucking wall. It's like if you had a Ferrari, Jack, and I borrowed it and I hit it into a wall, or I wrote it off, and then you went, "Oh, don't worry, bro, I claim the insurance, I get it back." You give it to me again, and I do the same again, and then the same again. You're going to be, Brian, listen, I'm not giving you the keys to the car because you keep fucking wrecking them. So surely
Brian,
you've got to say, well, what's the point of having? Do you know what? When it comes to free kicks at the edge of the area with Harry Kane, you might as well just kick it out for a goal kick and say, "Here you go, you can have the balls back, guys."
everybody,
It's
we have a guest. We have kind of a new segment that's going to be happening where Nick, our man that's in the background, our man Lazy 801, as you know him, Nick,
What's
he
up,
is going to
lads?
be joining us as our halftime, kind of full time man, sort of kind of bringing in that new voice, kind of just that, that new enthusiasm or even, lack of enthusiasm because we are 1-0 down. So
Yeah,
to
I've
be
just
fair
seen the
to him,
replay, man. I don't know how enthusiastic I could be with the replay of that goal, man.
but on the
And
topic of on the topic of conversation, Nick, there are things that are constant in this world. The sun
uh,
rises, and and the sun falls, they're 365 days in a year, these things are constant. I think one of them may be that Harry Kane will hit the wall on a free kick as well. It seems to be a constant.
He must be putting away free kicks every single training session, because that's the only thing I can think of is why he keeps standing over that ball.
He's
And
really good at
clearly,
hitting it over the yellow, man. The yellow like plastic or like metal, green guys. He's
just
really good at
dropping
hitting
him
it.
into the bucket. Clearly, we're working on set pieces. I mean,
Uh-huh.
clearly it looked like we only had about 2 corners, but each of those corners had danger in them. It's just we weren't able to do anything with them afterwards. But clearly, they're working on set pieces. Clearly, Sonny's got a part to play in them. Just give him the free kicks, for the love of God.
Why
Um,
even torture us though, right? Where Sonny's like even lining it up himself just for Harry Kane to smack Sanchez in the head. Like, why are we even being like tortured like that, Nick? Like, why can't Sonny smack Sanchez in the head? I'd much rather Sonny just smack him in the head.
Harry's got something to prove, man. He's got something to prove. Man.
I,
Maybe
So,
ju-
so.
I
so
just don't.
Sanchez, man, what's going on, man? It's like
He's looked better this half in my eyes. He's looked better this half.
absolutely, absolutely. Except as soon as we started saying he looks a lot better, we let that goal in. And it's like
Mm,
our
that's right.
defense in front of our own goal looked really, really solid for the first 25 minutes. Looked like they weren't getting anything through, and all of a sudden, it's like everybody turned off. It's like everybody
Mhm.
starts looking past them, and they get the closer shots on goal. It was a great back heel, but Cesc got absolutely done by Kamara.
Yep.
So to get that crossover, Sessegnon, man, I want him to do well, but I'm starting to lose my patience with him.
Interesting.
Well, Nick, you
Interesting.
say for me, and I am a fan of Sessegnon. For me, this year is make or break for him. It's
Yeah.
Absolutely.
literally either you set the world alight or not set the world alight, but you put in a very good season, or it's time to cut
Yeah.
ties and get him out, because what we've seen under Conte is obviously he doesn't. If people aren't going to be in his club or in his plans and can't do the job, you're gone.
Yeah.
And we can't rely on him. Should Perisic pick up an injury, or so it needs to be addressed. But Sessegnon, compared to Emerson, was night and day for me in this first half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting
Eh,
that you say that, actually. What are your thoughts on that, Nick? We were saying that, Emerson, we're like seeing signs of improvement, whereas maybe what we're saying right now with Sessegnon, we're not seeing many signs of
Well, two
improvement.
things, man. For the first 30 minutes, there was absolutely no attacking output from either of the wingbacks. And that's
Yeah,
disturbing, to everybody.
fair,
It's
fair.
clear though that our midfield and forwards are working on feeding the wings so that they can have practice on getting balls in. So Emerson finally started to do something with them at the end. And
Yep.
hey,
We saw good
hallelujah. Hallelujah, man. And he's getting accurate crosses in. So we'll see. But I don't know if you remember the first couple of times he got into position, he looked dumbfounded. He had a
Also,
confused
people
look
are
on his
saying
face.
if we should have scored. Emerson had 2
Yeah,
chances
he
to
had.
score as
And
well.
Yeah,
why,
that's
what
true.
what is he being told not to shoot? Is he being? I mean, there's no reason why he shouldn't have stuck his boot straight through that. And
Especially
even
one of those where he played it back to Bentancur, and
yeah,
Bentancur was telling him, like, "I am
yeah.
about to play you in, and you're gonna shoot it," and then he plays it back to Bentancur.
So those are real areas of concern right there. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a friendly. He should be having the confidence. He shouldn't be second guessing himself like this. I applaud the progress he's making though.
Yeah.
And I'm
Does
an
it give you
Emerson
Reguilon
apologist.
vibes, how nervous he is once he's inside the box? It's like Reguilon
Without a
all over
doubt.
again.
Without a doubt, man. Like there must be, the hitman's involved on that. It's like if you don't put in X amount of accurate crosses, I get you in a headlock and I get to give you a noogie for a half an hour, something like that.
There's a trained laser on him at all times, maybe, for when he gets
So
in those situations.
you were saying Decky has looks the sharpest right now, and I agree 100%. Not only on the attack, but in defense, he's making a real menace of himself.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
I think Rangers really were getting ticked off at that for a while. So not only were they targeting Son, but they started targeting Decky with the heavy elbows and the sharp tackles, etc.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's that's good to see. I like it. I like it that they felt the biggest danger was along the right hand side.
Well, Nick, Kulusevski is built for the Premiership. He is
Absolutely.
built. and you can see it there. And there have been some tough tackles on him, and he's just used his body weight and everything. When you think that him and Brian Hill are the same age, but Kulusevski, Brian Hill could develop into a player, but this guy Kulusevski, the Premiership was made for him, and he was made for the Premiership, and he is looking very, very sharp in my eyes. Very
Mhm.
sharp.
The only thing I think he's missing is more confidence on the right hand, on his right foot.
Yeah.
His little chip shot dink from his left is deadly. That was a fantastic save that pushed that out of the way, because
Yep.
9 times out of 10 that would be top left corner. So he's got unbelievable technique on that left, but he needs to be right in Sonny's shadow, man. Sonny has got to give him some pointers on getting that weak foot.
Despite being 1-0 down, guys, and I'm gonna start with Nick here. Do you feel like we should at least be, drawn? Because I feel like Kane's had a one-on-one, Kulu's had a one-on-one,
I mean,
Emerson's had 2 good opportunities.
Emerson's had 2 good opportunities, but we all know who should have put it back in the back of the net, because it was right there for him. He scuffed the shot. He should have gone left.
Romero was
Keeper-
facing the goal with a header.
I mean,
Playing goal,
Pierre, man. It's
Yeah.
Pierre as well too. We should. I mean, so maybe what I'm trying to ask you, Nick, here. I know we're in kind of. I don't know if we're in doom and gloom. Like we just feel a bit frustrated, but it's not like Spurs haven't created chances here.
No, there's chances. There's chances there. To me, it seemed like there were 2 practice sessions going on. Rangers, for the first half of the first half, were heavily pressing and heavily trying to work out what their pressing strategy is going to be. And after they scored that goal, their press started to fade away. They started to get real tired, and they tried to make up for it with the heavy elbows and the sharp tackles. You could see that. You could see him going on our midfield on Bentancur, who was not having it. Bentancur is anticipating it and turning it into turnovers. It seemed to me like we were trying to work on how to beat the press, how to play out from the back and get the ball out and create chances and let them, soak up their pressure and do something with it. I got no problem with that in a preseason match if we're working on that, but we were able to turn that into some kind of attack, but not able to put the finishing touches on it. So that's, it's all good to be able to defend and to be able to soak up the pressure, but you got to have the end product at the end.
Oh, absolutely. Brian, do you know anything that you feel like we're missing out on, or anything that Nick has, kind of, said here that's, kind of, brought something out of you? Because if you ask me, I think even actually Dark Sun G Super Chat maybe could even help you here. He's kind of summarized the first half, saying Bentancur showed his class, Romero was a beast, Son and Kane had some nice link up, Decky continuing his great form from last season, and then Royale slowly improving, which is great to see. Decky was the guy that Romero was the guy that you were most excited to see. Decky was the one that I was most excited to see. They did both have good first halves at least, but I don't know, anything that we just said there, like maybe that fact that we probably should be up like 2-1. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how, I don't know what I'm trying to ask you here. I think there is a lot of takeaways.
The takeaway I'm taking from this, and yes, it's only the first half, and we're going to see people like Basuma hopefully coming on and everything. But a game like this once again just shows the lack of creativity, the lack of like when they had a lot of the ball, just someone's put their foot on the ball, just hold it up for a little bit, let players make the runs, and then find them, like when a ball. Because when we're on the counter attack, yes, we've got these styles of play and passages of play, but for me, I know Conte doesn't play with it. It's not like a big position for him, but to have that option and going right, I can't break this down. I'm trying, and we'll go back to James Maddison as well, because at least when James Maddison is there, someone can take Kane off these free kicks. Because in game, because if you look at this right now, the way we played, yes, we should have been up, but if you're giving that free kick to a James Maddison, a James Ward-Prowse, you know for a fact that it's certainly not hitting the wall. It's gonna or it may hit the wall, but with Harry Kane, where the chances are 99 out of 100, it's gonna hit the wall. You give it that ball to a James Ward-Prowse or a James Maddison, that stat goes drastically south. Drastically.
Give it to Moon Boots. I mean, he's going to hit it off the bar. I mean,
Moon Boots, Son, So we need to address this. I agree with a lot of people that for Conte, this isn't the new Maruno, because it's not a position he uses regularly. But at least at Inter, he had that option. At least at Chelsea, he had that option. I know these players like Madison and James Ward-Prowse, for examples, aren't coming here to say, "I want to, I want to be that option." They're coming because they want to play. So we need to find a way to incorporate a bit of creativity into this squad, because without
Yeah.
it, September the 1st, the window shuts. Without a creative player, games like this we're seeing again. It's only a friendly, but I think this could be a serious thing we're lacking. And I'm going to quickly get the kettle on before the second half
Absolutely.
begins, and I'll be right back with you guys. Right
No
back with
problem.
you.
man. See you
Dark
in a
Sun
bit.
G, Nick saying this is a good training because we will have games like this where we're shooting, where our shooting is saved or we'll go wide and then we go down 1-0. Let's see how we come back in substitutions. It's a great point Dark Sun G
Mhm.
makes, Nick, because we missed our chances. It's not like we didn't have chances. We missed our chances, to at least be level or go ahead. And we took the pain of it, or we got punished, 1-0. This is real game scenario.
Yeah, and we can see what our bench looks like when we're 1-0 down, and if they can bring some creativity to it. Okay, this is what I want to see.
Suma!
100%. This is what I want to see. Is that first half made me say I want to see the Bentancur and Basuma show right now, because
Yes.
all our creativity is actually not coming in attack. We have a lot of defensive creativity going on right now between Romero and Bentancur, because they're able to turn the attack into the defense into the attack really quickly. I think Basuma's got those traits, but he also has the ability to pick out a really decent pass. So,
Absolutely. I'm looking
so
forward to seeing
where's Lucas
Basuma
going to
coming
play?
on
Is Lucas coming on as
right
right
wing
wing
back.
back
I
again?
don't see Emerson out there. I think it's
Yeah.
going to be right wing back because I still see Sessegnon, which maybe a good opportunity for Sessegnon to kind of improve on what he did earlier. Because if you ask me, Nick, he was a bit underwhelming. Like
Yeah,
first half.
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I hope he improves on, that first half display. Emerson seemed to get better throughout the game. And the frustrating thing about Emerson was he squandered all the perfect opportunities for people to think that he had a good half, but he still squandered those perfectly good chances. And you still have to criticize. I think that's completely warranted because if he doesn't, squander those chances, then I think people would probably say, he had a great first half or, he looked really good out there. But,
They would be
you
if he
miss
would have
them
put
and you
that
get
goal
punished.
away. If he would have put that goal away, we would all be talking about a revelation.
Yeah, we'd be
So,
saying how good he looks, but it's
uh,
the same thing with Højbjerg, like I said
yeah.
before, where Højbjerg will have a great half and then he'll just miss a complete sitter. And it's like, I mean, you do it to yourself sometimes, Højbjerg, or Emerson too. It's like you're doing it to yourself, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to, get that praise or, to get that, bit of love, if you ask me. But it's actually, I must say, the fact that it's actually the summer in Scotland and I'm seeing someone with like a full blown, kind of like parka
Yeah.
on, really, honestly, seriously. I'm actually glad that it's 98 degrees and swampy, here instead. Basuma coming onto the
This team
pitch
is
with the
on,
arms out, the
yeah.
shorts pulled up as well, the long sleeves. He's playing next to Højbjerg. It's looking sexy. There we go, everybody. We're about to kick off, and we have kicked off. But Dark Sun G, I completely agree, my man. This is real game scenario. We'll see what Conte was doing in the halftime team talk. We'll see, what he's telling them, in the back room and how maybe he's changed things around. How he's able to Basuma first touch, first pass goes to Højbjerg, saved. Højbjerg with a poor touch. But Dark Sun G, completely agree, my man. This is a great way to learn. This is a great real game scenario for us.
So I'm surprised that it was Bentancur that was subbed.
I am as well. I think
But
Bentancur has looked. I don't know, but did Bentancur really do too much? Oh, Lucas already looking fabulous, cutting
I
inside
actually
there.
thought he looked real good, man. His
He doesn't look poor at
attacking
all.
positioning, he made some excellent tackles. Was able to turn over the ball, but his attacking positioning is excellent too.
Basuma, beautiful bit of control there.
All right, come on, Sess.
Sess fires that ball into Sanchez. Look at him with a back heel. Disgusting. Oh,
Oh,
I'm telling you, everybody, Sanchez is so much better the further away he is from his own goal. The
Goal.
further away he is from the
Right.
defense, he turns into like prime. Oh, it's gorgeous. I swear he should be backup striker.
Somebody
Sancho backup
obviously just
striker.
unlocked that mystery and just said, you know what, play 10 yards further up. And let's see how you
Just
do from
play
now
30 yards further up. Just play
on.
him as a backup striker, kitchen sink time. I'm telling you, that's where Sanchez becomes useful. He seems to be actually very good in and around the opposition box. Sonny skinning his man there. And sir! Oh, the ball in to Harry Kane. Lucas. Poor pass from Lucas there. Basuma under a bit of pressure, sprays it back to Lloris. Sanchez as a cam. He's best with his back to goal. That's what you say. He's best with his back to goal. It seems Sanchez. He's the complete opposite of his
he is
center back.
one of our most serious aerial threats. He's one of our only ones.
Tequila says Sanchez is good, just not as a defender.
Right.
That's absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Sanchez is the real Brazilian. Loving this, everybody. But I don't know.
Well, we're looking strong here in the first couple of minutes, man. We're looking strong.
I expect us to score, and to be fair, we already should have scored. So I'm really not too worried when it comes to how we've looked going forward. I'm actually not really worried at all how we've looked going forward. I think again, it's just been question marks defensively at certain stages and in possession. Just kind of question marks with how we're keeping possession in certain moments. Like Højbjerg,
let it go.
Beautiful, gets it there. Kulu gets taken down. Bit malicious.
Yeah. And I have a feeling this is going to be Rangers' strategy for the rest of the game.
Kulusevski's also telling the ref there. He's saying, referee. Bit malicious there.
Don't worry
but Harry Kane played it across the 6, goes out for a corner. Jimothy saying Sanchez is the creativity we were looking for. Perhaps he's the creative midfielder all along that we've been looking for, Sanchez. You know, like I said, plays excellent with his back to goal, plays his strikers in behind. He's, jeez, it's so funny. I think it's really becoming so true that it's scary. It's becoming so true that it's scary. He looks so good away from his own goal.
Come on, Sonny.
Sanchez! Lucas. Dink ball.
Oh! Romero.
Kane muscling in there.
Come up here.
Plays it back.
And I'm back.
We found out, Brian, we've confirmed our conclusion that Sanchez, the further away from his own goal he is, the better, actually. He might be the creative. He actually might be the creative midfielder.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
All right, I'm going to dip out here real quick, guys, and I'll see you
when
the
much,
match
everybody.
See you soon, Nick, buddy.
Big up Nick in the chat. He's a new addition to the watch alongs. Nick's going to be coming on every full time and halftime, to give his thoughts on the game, to kind of also help me shut up and as well just kind of get some new opinions. Kiss the ring. Oh, just have a bow, Harry. It's disgusting.
Do you know what? It's so weird because I literally just finished sending a tweet saying,
Brian.
Mate, I literally just sent a tweet saying, Harry Kane, you're one of the greatest players to ever wear the shirt. Your record speaks for itself, but for the love of God, please stop taking free kicks and get back to doing what you do. Literally just sent that tweet, and bang. And you know the one thing you've got to watch with Harry Kane, and I'm going to show it now when they show the replay. You know when they say in penalties, it's if you hit the side netting, you don't save it. If you go back and watch Harry Kane's goals for Tottenham, you'll see the percentage of times this man hits the side netting. Not the back of the net, the side of the net. And his finishing is just absolutely...
That's what Harry does.
Mate, he is the guru at hitting the side netting.
He is gorgeous. It took a world-class finish. Of all the easy finishes we had, Brian, of all the easy opportunities we had, we decided to equalize with the world-class finish there.
So you know what it is as well, compared to this time last year, he looks hungry. And we did a video on Tottenham on tour saying, listen, he's got leading England at the World Cup, the potential to become Tottenham's record goal scorer,
Yeah.
England's record goal scorer, get his golden boot of Sonny, and end the trophy jar at Tottenham.
Oof.
He's got 5 reasons to come into this season absolutely chomping at the bit, and it's showing in pre-season. He's scored in every single game.
Yeah. Spot on there. Højbjerg. Oh. Harry Kane also hustling back here.
Big.
Oh,
Oh, Harry.
megs him on that back heel.
Oh,
Sir!
go on, Eves.
Harry
Go on,
Kane
Mr.
picks it up
Basuma.
again. Højbjerg.
Basuma. So good to see him finally on the pitch.
It really was, especially just, I don't know, even one of his, first little moments, Brian, just the way that he received it under pressure, just kind of dribbled through the midfield. It's just gorgeous.
Yep.
Nice little 1-2. Oh, beautiful little run from Højbjerg and, from Sonny and Kulusevski. Love that link up play.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Correct.
we've been playing now, 7 minutes of the second half, and I've seen about 3 of them. It's been the most entertaining part of the game. The start of
Absolutely.
this second half, it's we look more aggressive. I mean, it just goes to show that Conte's words strike fear into the team, which is wonderful to see. Wonderful.
Lundstrom, the evil villain, who's probably deserving of a yellow card. Playing a ball out wide, I believe, to Barisic, not Perisic. Perisic is not on the field yet.
You're going to have a bit of fun when Perisic and Barisic are on the same pitch. You're going to be like
Too much
the
fun.
Tottenham
Too much
player, and the Rangers player.
fun. The Tottenham itch versus the Rangers
Yeah,
itch.
there you go. That's what you have to say. Tottenham itch.
Tottenham's itch. Here we go. Kent out wide. Kamara. I do like Glenn Kamara. I believe that's his name, right?
He's dangerous, isn't he? He's dangerous.
He's just good in possession. He just looks composed.
Oh, Nick in the back end there, making me very, very hungry with his chips and dips. With his
Oh, you
chips
know
and
it.
dips. You can't beat chips and dips when you're just chilling. There you go, Nick.
Tavernier.
Oh,
Oh, should have been a goal, maybe. He might have hit it too hard for. Probably was a shot, actually, at the end of the day. I think it did look like a shot. But
what
really,
force behind it?
it's very, 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 very dangerous there. Just hits it across goal. And it might have been the striker, hard to tell there, who was trying to follow it up.
But yeah, the camera angles of the Spurs player are diabolical.
I just don't even understand it. It's like I'm, it's like an angle from like the bottom of the grass or like
Yeah.
something like that. It's just like, what am I getting, from this angle? I don't really get it. But that's why it's a temporary service. But that's winning the ball high up. That's why they're not going to be showing all the games. Lucas Moore getting beat there pretty easily.
Yeah, see,
Romero, lovely. That's what you need, though.
didn't even really track back with his pace, but Romero was a wonderful tackle, and here's Kulu.
Kulu.
Oh,
Little
Oh,
shift.
mate,
Oh, sir!
mate, that's it. I think he was touched there, but I think he went down a bit theatrically. He's going to get booked for diving.
He's been given a yellow card for diving as well.
Yeah, that he's cut his knee open by the looks of it. Let's have a look on the
He seems
replay.
upset with the ref. Maybe he did have some serious contact with him.
Well, let's see if we get a replay from the grass where we can actually do. Let's have a look.
This is nice. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, he's dived. He has dived
terribly.
terribly. And you know what? And I'll say it I hate divers. And Kulu, you have done yourself very, very badly there. You have come across like it's disgusting to see, and I say that to all players in this
you said
beautiful
that
game
to
where
Reguilon,
this has
I
come.
remember, in the West Ham game.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting, and you fully deserve your yellow card, Kulu. I'm sorry.
Højbjerg, beautiful pass in. Sonny finds Harry.
Harry Kane does what Harry Kane does.
Oh, what a pass by Højbjerg, and what a finish by Harry Kane. There was only one way that was going to happen. It was going to go in the back of the net. Absolute gorgeous finish from Harry Kane.
This guy is hungry, hungry, hungry. Mate, do you know what? I feel sorry for Southampton because he loves a goal against them already.
What a finish!
One
nice
touch, get it out, get it out of his feet.
Oh, that was actually more impressive from Sonny because Højbjerg played that outside the into Sonny's chest. Sonny takes
it looked like it came off. it
first
looks like it
time.
came. Looks like it came
Beautiful.
off Højbjerg's shin. I don't even think Højbjerg meant to do what he did.
I think he meant
Um,
to play it to Sonny, but he played it poorly into Sonny, and then Sonny took it down and played that into Harry Kane. Gorgeous from Sonny, actually. Honestly, like strikers number 9 hold up play kind of quality there from Sonny, especially his back to goal and everything.
Honestly, this kind of Harry Kane, obviously he's gonna break the goal scoring record for Jimmy Greaves this season. I've said it before. I expect the way Harry Kane is playing before we go to the World Cup, and I'm talking Premiership only. I see him being on like 15 and up
Mm,
by the time we get to November.
I love that. I would love to see Harry Kane at least at 12 goals by November.
Oh, I think
Absolutely.
12. Premier League, I think without a doubt, he is looking sharper than he ever has done.
It would love, like how, Salah, just tore apart the Premier League in the beginning of last season. It'd be nice
Yeah,
to see Harry Kane do something a bit similar. Adrian Chia saying, "Come on, you Spurs! What a goal! Hope Dave is feeling better. He's feeling much. I don't know. He's probably feeling at least a bit better, with these goals. But I did text him, Adrian, just to maybe get an update, but have yet to receive a response. I'm sure he's just, getting taken care of right now. So he has, much better people, there to help him. But really do appreciate that, Adrian, and appreciate the support as well as the kind thoughts for Dave. Must say, a bit of beautiful techers there from their right back or whoever that is, number 17, for Rangers. That was impressive. Bit of some nice
so
checkers.
mate, you look at it, we've turned the game round within 12 minutes, 13 minutes.
And you really look at the chances that we squandered,
Yeah.
like the 2 chances that we did bury, I think were probably harder chances.
So sorry, I missed when they came out. Who else has come on apart from Basuma?
I think
Anyone
it's
else?
Basuma and Lucas. That's it.
Okay. Oh yeah, Lucas, we were talking about just before.
Yeah, but interesting though that Perisic hasn't come on yet. Maybe they don't trust him to get a full 45 minutes in, especially with a team like Rangers, who are
It,
playing a bit with intensity.
yeah, I mean, I expect to see Perisic have a longer period against Roma. I really do, because you got to remember he's had this little knock as well. I'd rather he only plays a bit now, and then we ramp it up again next week, Southampton. I think we will see him in this game. I think you will see Perisic.
Well done, Lucas. Is it a coincidence that Basuma has come on? He hasn't really. Just a second here. Is it a coincidence that since Basuma has come on, that all of a sudden we're 2-1 up, or is that coincidental?
Uh, Joe, I think it's a little both. I mean, you get Basuma in. Obviously, he's been given a set of instructions what to do, and what he's doing may bring a bit more balance in that midfield to stop Rangers do what they are doing. Rangers, apart from this little moment here, haven't really done anything in the second half. But you listen, Harry Kane and his finishing, especially the first one. The first one, if people, Perisic is coming on as we speak. Perisic is coming on
Wow,
as
for
we speak,
Kulusevski. Interesting here. He's going to maybe
and
be playing in the
Richarlison.
forward line.
And Richarlison. So let's have a look.
Oh, and Richarlison
So
here.
let's see with Richarlison if there you go for
And
Sessignon.
Sess is off. Sess is off.
The
So we get to see Perisic at wing back, and we get to see Richarlison come on. Hopefully, Brian, we were talking about this earlier. Maybe we get to see a version of like Richarlison, Sonny, and then Kane playing centrally behind them. Could be an interesting sort of tactic. And we
it,
finally get to see a different wing back in Richard or in Perisic.
it could be. I mean, obviously now we get to see what Perisic has got to give, and as you see, Kane's just dropped deep to. It
Yeah,
looks like it may. Kulusevski has gone a little bit more central, so maybe this is what they're trying. But good to see.
Sonny here.
Let's,
Dark Sun G saying Son and Kane already linking up before the
yep.
preseason. Perfect. He's at Dark Sun G. It was actually almost like I've said this before though. What makes this partnership so beautiful is they kind of assist each other. Like they're both goal scorers. Like some of the partnerships of the past, kind of, one of them is more the creator. The other is kind of, the goal scorer. I think if you actually look at the stats between the goals and assists they've shared, they're almost like even on like assists and goals, like both of them. Like they've assisted each other almost as much as each other, which I think is pretty insane. Like it just shows, kind of how impressive both of them are. Like Sonny isn't just, a ruthless goal scorer, Dark Sun G. He could also have a bit of hold up play, in his game, as we just witnessed with that beautiful pass that he played to Harry.
Well, what you got to look at it as well. When you look at the great partnerships that this club has had, the Crooks and Archibalds, the Sheringham and Klinsmans, the Berbatovs and Keens, and this Kane and Son. The other ones played up as a front two. It was a
Hmm.
4-4-2, and they played up as a front two. Now you're looking at it as a 3-4-3 or whatever, where they're rotating, dropping deep. They're already the Premiership leading goal scorer partnership, and that run will be extended a hell of a lot more, in my opinion. But these two are just, when you talk about partnerships, and we're talking about in many many years to come when they're both retired, these two will always have to come in the conversation for me when they say
I,
greatest.
yeah, partnership of all time
Yeah,
greatest,
they're
striker.
they're
I
they're, they're
think
in
they
that
probably are the
conversation.
greatest. I think there probably are, at least they make the conversation for the greatest, like not even honorable mention sort of thing. I think they make the
Yeah.
conversation for the greatest. I don't think it's like even a, like a just being nice, sort of consideration kind of one. I think they genuinely are, because they've been doing it for so long as well, which you have to take into consideration. It's not like 1 or 2 seasons, it's
Al-
multiple seasons that they've
Although I
been
have
able
to
to
say,
do it.
Jack.
And especially with the teams we've had in the past, Brian, the shocking,
Oh,
shocking teams we've had in the past, they've been able to carry this team on their own.
without doubt, but I have to say, when you were saying maybe we'll have Kane dropping deep and Richarlison and Son up front, it looks like Troy Parrott's about to come on. So it looks
Very
like
true.
we're going to see about 6 minutes of that.
Perhaps, maybe even Sonny or Kane comes up for Parrott. Who knows? But beautiful link up play from Richarlison and the rest of the team.
Oh, nice step over.
Sonny, what a touch! And Richarlison getting taken off the ball here. Lucas finds Kane.
Or
Kane tried to play first time into Richarlison. Beautiful pass over the top here. Hoybier gets stuck in on him.
we're back in
Lucas
numbers.
was able to track back. Perisic now. We get to see Perisic defend Tavernier. Ball out wide. One out by Sanchez. Played for a throw-in. Well done, Sanchez.
Yeah, I've got to say it, and I am a fan of his, but obviously I know we need an upgrade. Sanchez has been great.
He has been great this game.
Davinson Sanchez has done it. Oh, and as he's just intercepted another one.
He is
I
the
was like, oh,
commentator's curse. He is
yeah,
the
but
definition of a commentator's curse.
he deserves a lot of credit for his performance today. I don't know what people in the chat think about. Not saying that right, he's made himself a starter or anything, but he gets, one of the things I always say on these streams is, if people are big enough to give criticism and slag players off when they have a good performance,
True.
they have to be able to say, do you know what?
Show them the decency
I
to.
give them the grief, they deserve the praise,
Yeah.
and for me, Davinson Sanchez today deserves praise as we speak.
Yeah.
Obviously, there
Show
could
him
be
the
times.
decency, or show him the respect that he deserves when he has a
Yeah,
good game. Completely agree, Brian. Love that. Love that.
like I said,
People are saying Joe Rodon is coming on.
oh, is it Joe Roden? Okay, maybe not Troy Parrott. Look at me go. Um,
I didn't get to see. I just took you for your word, but I'm seeing what the
well,
chat is
don't
saying
take me
as
for
well.
my word, mate, because obviously I'm confusing Welsh defenders with Irish attackers.
Common
So
misconception we never knew, but beautiful pass from Dyer to Kane. Kane, oh, he went for that spray pass to Perisic. Would have been gorgeous.
God, but
Perisic
still,
though,
how is
the
Perisic on now
pressure.
centre forward? I love the rotation and the understanding that this team has. It's like literally.
I've really liked the look of Basuma. I know he hasn't even done too much, but I just feel like even when I watch him defend off the ball, he makes really clever movements with how he like cuts out a pass, or things like that. I just love the looks of Basuma.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you just got to look at it. Very, very, very few people keep Harry Kane quiet. Is what I was trying to say. I don't know what is going on with me. Blah,
Quaint
blah, blah.
finishes that he's had,
There you go.
to be
But
fair.
not a lot of people keep Harry Kane quiet. And that loss we had to Brighton, Harry Kane was really, really hitting a purple patch with his
Mhm.
passing, his assists, his running of the games. And Basuma just shut the door on him. Like, bang, you're not having a kick this game. And you've got to give him a lot of that's a very, very big thing to do. And it's dire for Rodham. It is Joe Rodham.
Joe Rodon also seems to have grown out the hair a little bit. I'm not really
That's
the
what threw
biggest
me off.
fan. Yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of it, Joe.
You see that I
I'll
grew
be
my hair
honest.
out. I've
It's
grown it
just
out in
a
a great way.
it's just a bit. I don't know. It's just not. I don't know. It doesn't really suit your head type. I would say, Joe. It doesn't really look. Maybe I
It's
don't know.
like Mr.
They
Potato
look
Head.
at
We
each
just change.
other. They look
Well,
at themselves enough in the mirror, but you think sometimes maybe you look too long and you start to get the wrong idea. Maybe that's what Joe's done there. I don't like the haircut.
maybe.
Even worse than Harry Kane's haircut, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. Uh, 2J with the super chat saying, and it's good to see you, 2J. Long time, my man. Long, long time. And it's good to have you back. Hopefully, all is well, my man, especially. And it's good to see that you've always, graced us, coming in here because this guy is honestly a YouTuber himself and he has a huge following and he still comes onto this channel. Absolute legend. And he says, from 1 to 10, how pissed would you guys be if Conte started this exact same 11 as last season for the first few games? How pissed would I be? I guess that 11 would be what? Emerson, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Sassignon, Davies, etc. I don't know how pissed I would be. I think I'd be probably I'd like to see Basuma start, 2J. I would like to see Basuma start. When it comes to Harry
Oh,
Kane, they're just absolutely saucing. Fines for Charleston.
oh.
Sir!
Okay, Richarlison, stop with your Brazilian Neymar rolls.
Oh, he needs to. He needs to just to get the extra, from the yellow card. Hopefully, the player gets a yellow card there. But 2J, I would be. I don't know, Brian. Like he's saying, like for the first few games. I feel like the first game, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same lineup that we saw from last season. But like the Chelsea game or the game after that, I feel like we will see changes. So maybe
If
to say to 2J, I'd be surprised if we played the same lineup for the first 3 games. I'd be shocked. In fact, I'd be shocked.
I would be extremely pissed off if
Yeah, so
if
you're at an 8 or a 9 or a
oh
10
mate,
then?
I'm beyond. I'm at about 23. If we start, and the reason I say that is that will show yes that the players got to the Champions League, but when this money was invested, it was to strengthen the team. It was to make the team stronger, and that's what you do in summer. You buy in players that can make your team stronger, and there's players certainly there. I mean, Richarlison, you can chuck out the window for the first game because he's suspended for what he did at Everton. Perisic, you've got to see a couple of new people in there. You've got to. I would be really annoyed, and we're talking about obviously like what's his name? Is that 2J or ZJ? Sorry,
Yeah, 2J. Yeah.
2J. Okay, big up 2J. I think you've got to see some new freshness in that squad. But maybe not for the first game, but if it's the first few, like he said, I'd be absolutely raging.
I'd be pissed too. I think I'd be pissed. I guess maybe you're right, Brian. I don't even believe that would happen. So if that did happen, I guess I'd be pretty pissed because I don't even think that will happen. So 2J has a point there. I guess I would be pretty angry. But 2J, there's your answer, my man. I guess you got tens. You're getting a lot of tens from the chat as well, 2J. So
There you go.
you're getting a good answer, my man. And really appreciate the support, appreciate the donation, and appreciate you tuning in as always, my man. Absolute legend.
Okay,
Forster, we get to see come on. The absolute human giant we get to see.
mate, do you know what this is? Not only
I'm
this, this is
excited.
the atmosphere in that place is now going to go mad because of his Celtic connections. This is this is a
Yeah, people are
this
probably
is
beckoning him. Also, Lloris and him had a bit of a chuckle as well.
this is
Like,
going to set the atmosphere is going to get intense in there. This is going to rile a few fans.
Sanchez coming off. Jet Spence is coming on, everybody. Longley has come on. We're getting treated
There we
here.
go.
Harry Kane coming off. Good performance from Harry. Great performance from Harry. Great performance from Sonny as well. Jet Spence is on. I think that would mean that, what is it? Lucas gets probably pushed up somewhere. Maybe left wing.
This is
Right
where we're
wing.
going to see. But mate, this is
Brian Hill has also come on, which is interesting. We'll see where he goes. He'll
what a
probably go right wing.
smorgasbord of talent we have right now. And I love using that word. I've always tried to get that word into a stream, and I've finally been able to do it.
We actually have in Brooklyn, there's like a smorgasbord kind of thing of trailer park, or not trailer park, like kind of like food, trucks and whatnot.
I just need to announce something as well because I went on a blitz last week and I got them into third, but Ben Daniel has just asked me to check the votes for they're in for the obviously to get web or fan channel of the year.
Yes.
They were in third, and our mission was to get them above Arsenal Fan TV. They are above Arsenal Fan TV. They
Oh,
they are in second place now, so it's Redman TV on 4,055. Arsenal TV, who are third on 2,946.
well done, Spence.
We Are
Sorry,
Tottenham TV
sir.
are on 3,091. So keep the votes going to keep We Are Tottenham TV
Do you mind
in
passing me that link,
second.
Brian,
I
in
can get you
WhatsApp
the
if you're able to?
yeah, mate. I can WhatsApp it to you immediately. Um, let's get it back up. Give me 2 seconds. I'll send it to you via WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Jet Spence getting stuck in there, everybody. Gorgeous.
Sent my brother.
Thank you. Everybody, I'm going to put this link into the chat. Give them a big thumbs up and give them a big vote at some stage for We Are Tottenham TV. They deserve it. And we don't want them finishing, below the Gooners when it comes to, the Spurs or when it comes to the fan channel awards. And then on top of that, I don't know if Dave really likes, the Liverpool fans too much either. So I think he'd probably want to see, us finish above Redman TV as well. Everybody show them the support that they deserve. We'll put that, link in later as well, maybe when the game finishes. But everybody show them the support. We've gotten them at least, to second place, which I think is
Exactly.
definitely admirable.
It's phenomenal.
Bit of
Yeah, back to
pressure
the
here
game.
from Spurs and back to the game. But I was going to say, Jet Spence, for a moment, made a crucial tackle. He made a great tackle back there.
Well, do you know what? When you start these new players, like they said, when they come in, their first touch or their first big interaction, you always want to make it a good one, and that will give them a lot of confidence going in. Give them a lot of confidence going in.
Definitely. Longley, we also got to see right there. Joe Rodon playing through the center. Romero finds Spence. Oh, that was the right pass actually there. I think just, Hill maybe didn't help him out. 1-on-1 for Longley.
Oh, side netting outside of
Nasty
the post.
deflection.
Thank God.
Nasty deflection off Longley there. Very nasty deflection. Oof. Right through
God,
his
look,
legs.
we were just talking about Spence's first moment. Longley's could have been an own goal, but thankfully it wasn't. He's a beast, Fraser Forster.
He really is a giant back there.
He's 6'7" man mountain.
I love those actually. I love that bit of shithouser players do that for Charleston. That's glorious. Oh, Lucas getting done by Tavernier. Tavernier is probably going to put in a ball in. Perisic 1-on-1 defending. Great block.
God, that Rangers guy looks like he wants to have Jack Grealish here, doesn't he? But yeah, wholesale changes.
Huge changes. And to be fair, kind of, I don't know. I was just on a stream the other day, and a lot of people didn't expect Jet Spence to get 20-ish minutes, and I said he would, and I'm not surprised that he has, gotten that 20-ish minutes. I think it was very necessary and probably good, to see as well, especially Longley too. Lundstrom shot on goal,
Oh,
nasty deflection.
they're trying to get OG like our goal scorer. They want to get their OG up. But yeah, do you know what? This just does go to show we're talking about creativity and we still need it, and I think we still do. But look at the array of, and obviously there's 5 subs now. The array of talent that is on that bench, it is so much better, so much better. It's night and day.
Romero. It's like, oh, Hill, play pass, finds Richarlison. Richarlison 1-on-1.
Oh,
Oh,
1-on-2 more
Hill.
like, but yeah, why Hill should have pulled the trigger and
Get it
written
out of
his
your
name into
feet. Yeah, he
folklore.
should have gone for the dink, don't you think, Brian? He could have gone for it. Could have gone for the dink.
Keeper was way out.
A lot of people are interested with the fact that Doherty isn't playing.
Yeah. Could that be telling? Could that be telling?
With Emerson starting as well, but Doherty does have an injury, to be fair to him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Maybe, but I
Let's
don't know. Hey, there could be something to read into it. There still could be.
let's see. Has Brian Hill got a good delivery on a corner?
Yes, he
Yes, he
does.
has. Oh,
Whoa!
that
Perisic.
Perisic with the bicycle kick.
That was a good delivery.
This man is just class. I'm so proud to see and happy to see him in a Spurs shirt. That is a great take.
Good try.
Just to have the see, this is what you get when you get an elite player. Another person would have tried to chest that and get whatever,
Yeah.
or or a header.
Here we
It's a
go.
great bit of
Tavernier.
intuition.
Big up Ian Barron. Happy birthday, my man.
Happy birthday. Happy 49th, my man. Hopefully you're going to your 50th year next year with a trophy in the cabinet.
Adam Phillips saying Palisic.
Not a bad nickname. Not a bad nickname to have.
Romero 1-on-1 here. Gets a block.
Romero is just this guy.
He is just world class. He is a world class.
Yeah, but when we signed him up, I was saying like he's just a touch off, I think, being called it, but he is leaps and bounds getting that way. And to
He'll
me,
prove it this season. He'll prove it
I
this season. Yeah.
oh, without doubt, without doubt, I think by the end of the season, people will be saying like, is he the best centre back in the world? That's how good this man is. He is just incredible.
Oh, sketchy there. Very sketchy. Oh, that guy actually used to play for New York City FC or
Oh, did he?
New York Red Bulls or New York Red Bulls, I think. He's a former MLS player. I think his name is Sands or something.
Yeah, and Toronto have just
Recognize.
signed a big player again. They signed their second big player.
Yeah, you guys signed Bernardeschi,
Yeah.
who has one of the best sleeve tattoos as well. So you definitely be happy with that.
Oh, there you go. Now I love him even more. Now I love him even more.
Lundstrom on the ball. I do hope we're able to hold this out here because, West Ham, they did lose 3-1, at the Ibrox. And
Yep.
that was probably even less of a competitive game this one. But
Oh,
Lucas, we have the ball high up here. Lucas with a shot.
Oh,
Poor
Richarlison.
there from Lucas.
Was that Lucas? I thought
poor
it was
there.
Richarlison.
No, it was Lucas there. That was poor in my
My
eyes.
God, I need to get my glasses on.
I guess Richarlison maybe just a bit bigger. God, that
Yeah,
hair.
oh my God, that hair is
That hair.
that is minging.
Joe, that's just gotten it all wrong there, my man. At least shave the beard. If
Do you know what?
can.
I'd like to see Eric Dyer started to vote on Doherty's goatee. I think they need to do one on Rodon's hair.
It just looks like a wig, and it's his own hair on top. Like it's not it. It's not it, Joe. It's not it. Old man itch with the bike, Ian says, and he also said it's good to see an itch on the pitch as well, always. Basuma shying out of that tackle.
Yeah,
there,
he did,
Bissouma.
didn't he? He did.
Romero not shying out.
The guy doesn't know what that word means.
All he knows is full in.
I think that was purposely made at Basuma. This is what you do when a tackle comes.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Oh,
here he's on the
Spence,
ball.
lovely, nice touch, Spence. Poor from Romero, but he makes up for it in every other way. But Spence actually not too terrible in possession, I would say.
No?
There, decent.
So you
Say
got
Emerson's hair. Now look at Emerson's hair right there. Now that is
that's
a nice
oh,
hairline.
we're going to
That's
get
a gorgeous hair.
Tanganga and Mate Sarr for the final 9 minutes.
Would love to see Papa Matasar. Hoybier coming off, telling the lads, to keep it calm. Romero coming off.
But do
Interesting.
you know what?
This would be.
Fair play.
It's like taking off your two most composed players here. We'll see how they cope. These are the two leaders. They're taking off the pitch, Brian.
It is, but you know what? It's good. They get 80 minutes off in their legs, come off, relax.
Yep. You're right. Ian
And
is saying shave the head or shave the beard for Rodon. Yeah, I agree. It just has to be one or the other. You can't have that beard with that sort of hair, or you can't have,
Well, do with me. Do both. Do both. Have a bit of style, and then it's all the same length, and it grows. Don't
let it grow all at once.
Yeah, that's.
I'm excited to see Sar and Basuma together as well.
Yep.
What I do like about Papa Matasar, and I'm already seeing it right now, he is able to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, and he's just
Go for
well done.
so-
It
he's
looks
so
like he's got his reading of the game impresses me from what I've seen. His reading of the game at such a young age.
Mhm.
It's great to have that reading of the
Mhm.
game at such a young age. It really is.
Mhm. I feel like they've had a lot of trouble going down our left-hand side since Sess and Sanchez have gotten off the pitch. I think Sanchez, we said played a lot better
Yep.
than the other games, but I don't know. It's been a bit quiet down this left-hand side. Oh, ref! Seriously, it's called the weight room, ref. That's
It's
what
Jack
he showed him. It's
Grealish.
the weight
Jack
room.
Grealish is down.
He's like, "Sir, have you seen the size of my shoulders? How is he not supposed to go to the ground there? Look
So
at the size
tell
of
me this
him."
boy isn't a Jack Grealish wannabe.
Jeez, the shoulder to shoulder. Oh, it just shows him the weight room, ref.
Yeah. I'm loving this weight room analogy, Jack.
Oh,
Loving
that's
it.
what Conte. That's what Conte is probably screaming on the sidelines. He goes like, "What's the point of having my guys doing these marine runs every day, ref? If you're not allowing me to show them the weight room, that's the whole point
Exactly.
of having them go to the weight room."
Oh,
Lucas,
oh,
sketchy
it's
clearance.
ping pong, or pinball, shall I
Come on,
say?
Richarlison. Come on, Richarlison. Yes. Oh, showing the strength. Papa Matasar.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
So what I am loving is how quickly these guys are pressing. I remember Pochettino saying it. The press only works if the first man goes, and then obviously it starts the pre, and they are doing it. There is no doubt, like they are pressing.
Lovely Spence. Lovely Spence. Spence is tall. He is tall.
Yeah. So we're about to enter the final 5 minutes plus additional.
Tavernier with a long ball. Cleared by Joe Rodon to a open player in the midfield for Rangers. At least clear it to the sidelines, my man.
Oh, who tried to brush him off there?
Uh-oh. Here we go. Spence. Okay. Oh, yes, Hill. What a pass. What a pass.
Richarlison, was it too heavy? Was it too heavy? No, he's kept it in, Lucas Moura. But he can't do anything with it. And now we've got Lucas playing on the left as opposed to the right. So where's he gone?
What a
Left
little
wing
dink
back?
from Hill there. What a little dink.
But then where's Perisic gone? The flexibility in this team is ridiculous.
I think, yeah, Lucas is playing left wing. And to be fair, when you have Lucas at left wing, you have a hard-working left winger out there.
Yep,
To
that you
help
can
out
say.
Perisic. James is saying Spence is 6'1".
He looks taller.
He just looks tall. Like he does. Out there.
Maybe put some padding in his shoes, Jack.
Longley with a deep long ball in. It's a good pass to Richarlison. Richarlison, sir! Getting hacked.
This is what Richarlison's brilliant at. His
Hacked
hold
down
up
by the
play and getting the
American.
ball forward.
Oh, sir.
At least didn't roll around 58 times.
Looks a bit befuddled by Richarlison there.
Maybe I should get a Richarlison haircut when my hair grows back. I'll do the Richarlison.
It'd be better than Rodon still.
I mean, I could cut my head off and I'd have a better haircut than Rodham. Oh, he's pursuing. Mate, is he going to go for it? Could you see a cheeky attempt?
This is not a bad idea.
Oh,
Dinks.
it's a
He
good
could have scored
delivery.
if yeah went for the in between.
I really. Could you imagine if he just whipped that into the top corner? It would be like, right, Harry, off free kicks.
It's awkward for the keeper there, and brave from the keeper. You have to force him to be brave there. God, Hill is relentless. The way he presses, he's like a little mosquito.
So it's obviously been a much improved second half to first half.
Just feel like they haven't even threatened the goal as much. In fact, the chances that they've had to threaten the goal have been some nasty deflections. One back by Richarlison or Hill, hard to tell.
Oh. You know the good thing about it is though, what I can take from this is obviously I know it's only a friendly, but after going 2-1 up, they've rallied the storm. They've defended as a unit, they've played well as a
Mhm,
unit, and it's that grinding out the result, which is what we've
mhm.
needed.
It's also another comeback, yet again, from Conte's teams, at
Yep.
halftime. And we're even doing it in preseason. It's just the halftime, kind of whatever team talk or, like whatever he does, honestly. It just seems to
Correct.
always, at least spark something in the players. Even if we get a draw, even if we just get a point, he always seems to spark something in them. Tavernier.
Oh, is he still in it? No. Throw to Spurs. Throw into the Lily Whites.
It also feels like Rangers are not in deep in our half anymore. Like, in fact, they've, struggled to get it over, kind of the halfway line. They've had to
Yeah.
almost hit it long. They've had to hit it long even to get it across the halfway line. None of our keepers are good in possession. Spence plays a nice pass, though, to Sar. Sar, not as much time as you think. There you go. Love it. There you go, Sar. Spence. Spence
Go on.
driving.
Let's see you go. Let's see you go, Spence. Open up.
Just keep going, my man. Drive. Joe plays to Longley. Nice pass from Longley. Nice pass from Perisic. Lucas. Oh, sir.
I love this, sir. Mate, you've added
Not
some
allowed to
great
have
things
two
to
people
your.
take him for a ride, or is he giving a foul on Lucas?
You've added some good things to your game, Jack. Sir,
I guess you're
I'm
not
loving that. That's
right.
my favourite. That is my favourite. Go on, Eva. Let's see
Oh,
the
there it is.
delivery.
That's that step over
That's
that
a
he
great
does.
delivery.
Oh,
That's a fantastic delivery. That's what this man does.
that's trademark Perisic there.
It
That is
really
trademark.
was. See, channeling his Emerson with the step overs.
Those are better step overs. The itch step overs. The itch step overs are much better.
But this is it. Look at that. One cross to the player. All right, it's tough for Richarlison, but that's what this guy's going to give us from left wing back. You know the ball's getting into the box. You know it's going to find the man or ask questions of the defence, which is what we've been lacking so badly.
Richarlison pressing.
Rangers fans starting to leave. Oh yeah, we've entered the 90th minute.
Yeah.
Or 91st minute, shall I say.
Tavernier plays to Kamara. Lundstrom finds their other center back. Now we're kind of deep in our half.
Just defend as a unit.
Someone close him down. Basuma, please. Thank you.
He heard you, Jack. Here goes Richie.
Lovely, Rich. Oh,
Oh, look at the,
Perisic, what an overlap.
and
Was
it
that
goes
for
off
a
for a
corner?
corner. Perisic, I mean, his pace is frightening. To gallop up there and get ahead of Richarlison and offer Richarlison's hold-up play is brilliant. His passing has been a little bit lacking again, but you
Hmm.
can't question his hold-up play. You cannot question what he does against defenders.
Definitely.
And
Beautiful
Brian
to see
here,
Perisic making these overlaps. Like you're already kind of seeing kind of the difference maybe between him and Sessegnon,
completely.
to be honest. God, that hair is shocking from Joe. Just take me off. Take me away. There we go. Brian Hill with the ball in. Near
Another good
post.
delivery.
Great defensive clearance from Lucas.
And there's the Spurs fans doing us proud as they always do.
What does it
Singing
feel, the West Ham, the small club that they are, Brian, couldn't get it done, at the Ibrox. And this was
Yep.
actually a tougher game because this is Rangers' last preseason game. So they did really want to win this one or get a good
Yep.
result. They probably would have rather had lost to West Ham and maybe had won this one, you would say.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
So it's good to see we got the win.
Yeah, it's good. And like you said, it's good that we've come back from a losing position. It shows the steel in this team. It shows the determination. So it's always good to see your teams coming back from a losing position to show that they're not just going to be here for the ride.
Hmm.
Um, and and yeah, with Rangers, it's a tough game. It is a tough game. This is a very intimidating place to go. And listen, three preseason friendlies, 2 wins and a draw.
And the Sevilla game, I think we probably should have
And I
won
think the
because
final whistle's just blown. Yep,
might have, yeah. And there you are, everybody.
I
2-1
think.
is the
Oh no, he's
should.
shouting. No, I
I
thought
was just gonna
Conte
say
was
quickly
clapping
on
and coming on
Sevilla
the
one.
pitch.
The Sevilla one quickly. I think Rakitic just had a world class goal. I remember that one, and it felt like we still even deserved probably to win the Sevilla one, no matter how boring it was. But yep, final whistle. Spurs have won 2-1 at the Ibrox. Something that the West Ham could not do. Seems like something about this team is maybe just a bit better than what David Moyes has over at the Ibrox. The Arsenal former Arsenal player Van Bronckhorst, the manager of Rangers, is crying. He's already sulking, running into the dressing room. But you know, Mr. Daigle, my quick, maybe kind of summaries of this game was we did actually get to see a lot of debuts of the second half.
Yep.
The first half, we looked good and that we created a lot of chances, but we missed our chances. And the moment that we put in some new players in the second half, it felt like all of a sudden maybe things were a bit more in cruise control despite being 1-0 down. Felt more cruise control.
Yeah, I mean the first half was like I said, we created chances, but we were wasteful. We
Yeah.
were wasteful. And obviously the Premier League, you can't do that. There's not a lot of teams that will let you get away with that, especially with the high standards we've set ourselves for this season, or the high targets. And it looked a bit worrying. And we were talking about, and people were saying as well in the chat, that we need that creativity, that creative spark just isn't there, and how we need it as an option. And then obviously when it comes to the second half, when you got Harry Kane in your team, you only need a couple of chances, and the
Yeah.
game turns like that. That's the difference between, like you said, West Ham, the filth, whatever you want to mention. You give Harry Kane 2 chances like that, you would pretty much, not just Spurs fans, a lot of fans around the world would say Harry Kane has that 2 chances. He scores those 2 chances, and like you said, the creativity got better within the second half. And the best part to take from it is it looks like when Conte speaks, they are listening. They
Hmm.
are fully tuned into what he's trying to do. And going in at halftime 1-0 down shouldn't be a fear for us. Should never be a fear for us. And then when you look at the plethora of changes we can make, I know we can only make 5 in the Premier League, but you look at that subs bench
Yeah.
today, and you look at the difference that it's been for the last few years. That is seriously alarming. There are game changers in there. May not be the creative spark, or the way you think this guy's going to change the game, but these people are going to come in. They will have an impact in these games. And the second half, very impressed. Great to see Perisic. I'm really happy to see Perisic. For me, he's still our signing of the season. For me, because of what he's done and what he brings and what he can deliver.
Mhm.
But yeah, the most important thing, no injuries by the looks of it.
Yep.
Players came off because of rotation, not just for. And now you're seeing a beautiful picture. Oh, we've won a trophy.
Right.
Yeah, we
We
won
have
a
won a
trophy, and
trophy.
Yeah.
we have our man Nick in here. Nick, you're seeing Jermaine Defoe standing next to that beautifully tiny trophy
Uh-huh.
there. Um, any tears, coming through the eyes to see, Conte's first trophy. This is his first trophy.
It's cometh the contest, cometh the trophy, man. Is one game, small trophy. That is what it. Next to JD though, that trophy actually looks pretty huge. But that's a different story altogether. Uh,
But
I love
to
it. Absolutely
Adam
love it.
Phillip, yeah, you did. You witnessed a itch swap over there. Did you guys
Yeah,
see that?
Perisic and
You guys see the
Barisic
itch?
switch
Lovely
kits.
stuff. Lovely to see. Lovely to see. Yeah,
I,
but
I have to
just
say,
to
I have to say,
reiterate,
very. Oh, sorry,
huh?
Nick. Go on. You follow, buddy. You
Yeah,
finish.
yeah. I mean, Perisic is really that was. I mean, I couldn't take my eyes off him.
Yeah.
Wow, it's experience and skill. The way he can work the lines, the way he can keep possession, the way he can frustrate the defense. It's gonna be when his ability to read without he's barely played with these guys. His ability to read what his forwards are going to do when he's playing with Son, that is going to be devastating. You know,
I,
Hmm.
I, I just want to add there. First of all, people kept saying we're on for the quadruple. The quadruple is off, people. It's the quintuplet.
you're
We're
right.
off for
We've
the
already won it.
quintuplet. And the greatest thing you have to see there is you saw when Lloris just held the cup. He's like, really? So he picked it up. He picked it up, and the first thing they did is they walked off. He gave it to one of the backroom staff and said, "Here you go, take it." Um, it
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, okay. Um, but yeah, listen, we're all joke about, and now all the I can't wait actually when I go onto the fan show on We Are Tottenham TV. They have a guy that comes on called Pepe Nicholas, and he says 0 trophies. I hope he comes on because I'm just going to spam him and go, well, that's one in the bag, that's one in the bag, that's one in the bag. Um, but yeah, listen, there's a lot of there's a few negatives that I took from the first half,
uh,
but a lot of positives we can take from the second.
absolutely.
Definitely.
And
Definitely
most
plenty of
importantly, the
positives.
score line is the most positive. And we're undefeated in pre-season. All right, the results don't really mean for much in the grand scheme of things, but it will give the players a bit of a lift. This would have been a completely different game, and the atmosphere and the intensity compared to the other two. And we've risen to the challenge. You can only beat the team that's in front of you,
No, you can only
and
do
that's what we
that.
did.
Absolutely. And to be fair, to the lads, I feel like Rangers really wanted to win this one. I don't think they were really, holding anything back in a game like this. I think they did want to, kind of start or at least end their preseason, kind of with a bang. And winning that tiny trophy against Spurs would have been a great way to to end the preseason. And unfortunately, we came to ruin the day. Dark Sun G saying it's nice to have subs when they come on, and it doesn't deplete the quality of the team. No more useless subs that ruin our quality. New signings look promising. Nick, it was nice to see, kind of all these new subs come on. And to be fair, I think it is, an improvement. In fact, we saw some big players come off the pitch, but it almost like we looked just as good on paper.
We looked. It was a different strategy too, man. So I saw almost no press from us in the first half.
Yeah,
Almost none.
true.
It was soak up their attack and then try to play out from the back.
Yeah.
Completely opposite when the youth came on. I guess that's deliberate. See what it's like. See what we can do. 5 subs. If you can turn on a whole other press machine in the second half, I mean that's massively dangerous. I mean that possibly even negates the need for more creativity through the middle
Uh-huh.
because you can outlast if your team's fitter and you also have the engine, you can outlast the opposition, which is clearly what happened against Rangers right here because they did not have any more gas in the tank in
And
the
you know
second.
what, Nick? It's quite worrying as well for, or not for Rangers, but as you say, they're a lot further ahead in their pre-season training than
Yeah,
us. And
yeah.
all right, the standard of football they play week in, week out is nowhere near what we do. But to see us be as physical and as fit as we are, and we're 2 weeks away from the season,
Hmm.
it just goes to show the work that is going in to this. And then when you see Harry Kane's just getting interviewed now, but when you see him, Richarlison has come in, and my God, are you going to learn under Harry Kane?
Yeah.
And like you said, we look at the sub bench last season near the end. We had Alfie Devine, my boy. We had Dane Scarlett. We had Harvey White. We had one of the twins. I can't remember the twins' names, but we had one of them on there. A Harry Winks, a Lucas, and you're like, okay, a Roden. you look at that now, and it really, really, the other managers are going to go, okay, what are they possibly going to do? You know, like the substitutions now are kind of chess moves, and you try and strategize.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now, I think for once it's going to make other fans, other managers think, right, who could Spurs bring on? When are they going to bring them on? Because I don't want to bring on a sub on early to try and do this, and then if they bring this player on, it's going to
Mm.
complete. I think the mind games with the armory that we have on the bench is going to make managers second think,
And you know
which is
Conte thrives on it. You know, he
yeah. Well,
thrives
that's the
on being
psychological
able to
battle, isn't
play.
it, Nick?
Yeah, yeah. He wants to be able to go manager to manager, not just players to player. He wants to be able to outthink manager. And you could tell last season, obviously, other teams figured out how to play against us.
Yep.
And Conte looked at the bench, you could see it on his face. He didn't like what he saw. So
And it's
he's
because
got
he
the
got
tools.
figured out because he didn't have anything on the bench. Like he didn't
Yeah,
have anything else to experiment with. And when you have no other players to experiment with, you can kind of get figured out. You can get caught out. Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Um, what do you feel like, with the score line 2-1, Nick, is that fair to us? Is that a fair reflection of the game? Where do you feel like, this, what did this game tell you? Like
I think
Spurs,
it probably
deserve to
is
win?
fair in that we need to do a little more finishing practice. And there needs to be a
Yeah.
little bit more confidence. We had the chances in the first half. And also, what was clear to me is that somebody must have said, okay, Kane, Son, you did what I asked you to in the first half, which is try to get everybody else into the game. Now don't worry about that. Just open up, because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Harry Kane just said, okay, I'm not going to try to play Kulu in right now. I'm just going to take these shots myself. Yeah.
It's like Nick and Jackie. It's like when you watch Fast and Furious, and then they get right near to the finish line, and then one of them put the NAS gas on, and it's like off they go.
Yeah.
That's what Conte must have said. He said, "All right, Kane, Son, stop pissing about now. Go to work. Switch the NAS on, and bang, the game
Yeah.
changes."
Yeah.
And the thing is with these two, we've seen it. Some players have a connection with each other that you just cannot teach.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how long you play up front. You look at who would have thought back in the season when Liverpool almost won the league that Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge would form a mental partnership where they just knew where each other was. Two players very, very good in their own right, but obviously Suarez, but put them together. Look at Berbatov and Keane. And
Yeah.
I used the Berbatov and Keane one as well. But the difference with Berbatov and Keane and Son and Kane for me is, and I don't mean to offend any Irish fans on here at all, I think Keane was superb, but only when he played with Berbatov.
I feel
If
like he
Berbatov
wasn't exactly the creator though, Keane, right? That,
No, but
we
Berbatov's Keane was good. Get me wrong. I love Robbie Keane. I think he was a great player
yeah.
and did well. But when he was together with Dimitar Berbatov, immediately Robbie Keane went up levels, up
Yeah.
levels. But these
Yeah.
two that play all the time are levels above that. You can't teach this thing. They are a joy to see for us and the nightmares for everyone else that comes against us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And
what we
Dark
need to
Sun
see though is our attacking five, and I'm including the wingbacks on there, all have that same awareness right now,
Yep.
because that's what Conte is trying to build right now.
Yeah, we do want them to all have that same awareness. Dark Sun G, I think, with these new signings, with these, kind of subs, my man, uh, Conte, he's just going to have more to work with. And we're going to be able to experiment more, as well as kind of like have different tempos and just look different. I think Nick or Brian brought this up, Dark Sun G, but, in the first half, it looked like we were sitting back a bit more, trying to, sit more in a defensive shape. Then in the second half, we were really trying to win the ball high up the pitch. And could you say in previous seasons we would, or last season, would we have been able to do that? It's not like he could have brought on Basuma, and been able to, kind of implement that sort of style. So you have to kind of, look at some of the signings and how much they've been, been able to grant Conte that freedom, to sort of switch things up. I do kind of want to talk about some of the debuts, kind of guys.
Yep.
Basuma, I feel like it's not like he really had the opportunity to do anything crazy, but he did look he's one of those players that just looks good, on
Yeah,
the
he
field.
looked ready
He
to
looks like a
go.
ball.
He's not going to need any kind of betting in period. He's ready to start when needed. So
Do you think he walked straight into this team, game one?
we didn't see him play with Bentoncourt. He started with Hoiberg when he got subbed on. So I mean that's the combination that me and I think most people think is probably our best two man midfield. So you know what, I don't know. I don't know if he completely dislodges Hoybier immediately. I
And
would not be
Bentancur has
surprised.
a solid team in that, and yeah, has a
Yeah,
solid squad.
Bentancur starts for me without a
I,
doubt. Bentancur starts.
I'm with Nick. I mean, I am a huge Højbjerg fan. Not Ellie and Curse levels, but I'd say I'm up there near them. And for me, Benson Corey is the one for me in the midfield that definitely starts. Definitely so, especially based on pre-season. Um, the way he can transition from defence to
Yeah,
attack,
Yeah.
he far outweighs all of them. But what we've got to remember as well, what we saw with Basuma, he's just recovered from COVID. He's flown out to
True,
Korea.
true,
He's
true.
flown out to Korea, which is obviously a long flight for anyone. Caught COVID and hardly
just to
bit.
get COVID,
Yeah,
just to get COVID.
just to get COVID. Couldn't train with the team, so been doing whatever they set the club set as in a personal kind of fitness plan.
Yeah,
Flown back, had to deal with getting back into shape and upping his game immediately, and
yeah,
came on and I think did very very well, or did very well in what we saw of him. Listen, we're not saying that he had an outstanding game, but he didn't. He certainly didn't have a bad game.
No,
And I think
no,
come next week in Israel, when he's got another week under his belt, you may see that Benton Core and Basuma one tried because, like Nick said, I think Benton Core definitely has marked it down. I don't think Hoiberg has done himself any good in pre-season. For
interesting.
don't get me wrong. His
I agree.
fitness, his attitude, his determination, his will to win for the club, he excels a lot of people in it.
Yeah,
Excels,
he just
but
hasn't
I
done
still,
himself any favors this
yeah,
preseason, I would say.
yeah, and
Yeah,
this is the thing. Last season, if you're on the 2 years we've had him, the first year he was simply sensational and undroppable. Last season he had a wobbly moment, but you got to remember he played over 100 professional games for Tottenham, and he's only been there 2 years. Not a lot of
mm,
people could say that at any
yeah,
club.
yeah.
But this pre-season, he's just looked a little bit off the pace.
Uh,
But the thing is, as well, he's doing this at the exact wrong time because now it's not like Hoiberg. You have to play. You have to play. It's like Hoiberg. If you're not doing it, your place is gone. And believe me, the player that's coming in to take your place is an exceptional player, and you're going to have to fight damn hard to get it back. And I'm talking Premier League. Obviously, we know there's
yeah.
going to be rotation throughout the cups and the Champions League, but I think Basuma has certainly given a good account of himself for today.
I yeah, and the time that he had, another thing that maybe should be brought up is Doherty didn't get a single minute,
Yeah.
guys. And
mm,
can we read anything into that, Nick? Is it just because we wanted to get Emerson, Lucas? Well, maybe there is something to read into that. Lucas was experimented with at right wing back.
again,
Emerson
yeah,
started the game, and
yeah.
then Jet Spence came on. Doherty not even included at all. What do you make of that?
So yeah, but we saw a lot of Doherty in Korea,
True,
so that's
true.
playing on both sides, right?
I think
Uh,
so. Yeah,
yeah, I think he switched during one game from the right to the left. Um, so I wouldn't read too much into that right now, in as much as we had a lot of debuts to see in general. Where there were so many changeovers that I wasn't sure who was going to be playing where. Right there. Speaking of which, one person because I was watching Parasites the whole damn time, Langley. What somebody's putting in the chat right now. Great ball to R9, but
he
was
did.
fouled. Did anybody keep their eyes on Langley at all? He had that one deflection. Thank God
Yeah,
He
for that.
looks good in possession like Romero
Uh-huh.
does. When he receives the ball, like he doesn't have a bad touch when he receives the ball, like Sanchez might, or even Moon Boots does from time to time. He received it and played it all within two touches and did it very quickly, as well. And he also played a nice pass into players' feet, one that isn't, like a driven hospital pass, or anything. Like he looks composed on the ball. That's all I can say. Defending wise, I don't know if we got any opportunities to see him
Yeah.
defensively, but in possession, he did look good. And also that pass that was played to Richarlison that you're talking about, he's being put under a bit of pressure, and then you just sends it long like that. And at first, I was like, "Oh, did he just boot it out of play? Like, why is he doing that?" And then we actually saw what he was doing with that ball, and we were like, "I haven't seen Ben Davies do that."
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So,
So,
I mean, obviously, Nick, like I said, you kept a close eye on Perisic. What we saw from Perisic looked good. All right, it was only brief things here and there, but he put a couple of crosses in. They're both good crosses. How often have we been able to say in the last season the left wing back got in two crosses and both crosses found their man. Like
Right.
Uh-huh.
just two. I'd like to know what that stat is because I don't think it'd be a very very high one. But with Longley, like you said, I can't confess to knowing loads about him. All I do know about him is in a back three for Seville or Sevilla, should I say? He was immense.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
But when he came to Barca after they reverted to a back two, obviously he's there's people that are better suited for back threes or back fours, and obviously Longley looks a lot better and a lot more comfortable with the left wing back. And the way I like them that I see with Romero and Longley is you got the brawn, the power, the intensity, and the aggression of Romero, and then you have the ball playing, cultured kind of left foot of Longley, which kind of reminds me. I know this was a back two, but Nemanja Vidic and Rio Ferdinand.
Hmm.
They're a combination that had all of those, but both of the players had different attributes. Put them together, and it was like the complete package. And then I think these two may have not. I'm not saying they're going to hit those heights because they are very, very, very big heights to hit. But I see this partnership working because they deliver and bring the attributes, like I said, with Ferdinand and Vidic. So I think I'm excited about that.
I am
Uh-huh.
very excited about that. Dark Sun G saying even if Pierre Mahoyberg is used for rotation, he still has a partner, in Skip. There you go, and
Yeah.
you can actually rotate the whole midfield, Nick, if you wanted to.
Uh-huh. And that's what Conte wants, absolutely. As going back to the left and right center backs,
Yeah.
I think Brian, you're absolutely right. They could be the combination we're looking for, but we still need the glue in the center
Yeah.
that's going to be consistently on top of his game. So is Dyer that man? I just don't know.
Was today another reflection of how we still do need another center back, in your
I
eyes, Nick?
I don't
Or
think Dyer
always
did
the case?
anything particularly wrong. In fact, he had a decent game while he was out
Uh-huh.
there, but he wasn't commanding the back line at all.
Yeah.
That's still for me again. It was still Romero.
So you look at it. All those subs that came on, or a very big majority of them, all added quality
Yeah,
to what came on, apart from Dyer for Roden. So all those other ones, you can say, right, either they're at the same standards as who came on, or definitely an upgrade. But then with that one in the centre, it looks like when Rodon comes on, you're like, yeah,
yeah,
okay. So I still think we need a centre back. Like I said, I still see Bastoni coming. I know he's a left-sided of a back three, but who knows? Maybe Conte will play him in the middle, or maybe Longley may go to the
yeah.
middle of a back three. But again, there's options. There's options he can work on. But I think we definitely need a centre back. We definitely need another centre back.
Yeah.
Jet Spence, lads, can we take anything from, his performance? It looked like he made a really good tackle at one stage.
Yeah,
Maybe another moment he lost possession. Then he would make a nice pass. Anything we can take from Jet Spence?
I think he looked eager, which is it's
Hmm.
I guess something to be said for it. He wants the ball, he wants to get involved. I'm confused as to why he didn't put the afterburners on and just go past his man the
Yeah,
couple of
with all the
times where he
energy he's
had
got too.
possession.
Yeah.
He looked like he ran out of ideas, or he was afraid he was going to run
Timid.
into a blind alley. Yeah, so that's not. I'm not too happy with that. But first game, first 20 minutes on the pitch, that he didn't do anything to make me worried yet.
Yeah,
Maybe
agreed.
not.
Agreed. He had a couple of nice touches. And as King Hoddle said, and King Hoddle's right, but I didn't even think we've just beaten the Europa League finalists.
Right. True.
You know what I mean? The Rangers are a very, very good side. All right, again, we'll talk about the league that they play in isn't nowhere near the standard of the Premiership, but Rangers are a huge fish in world football, and we've got a result on their home
On their
patch.
turf, right.
Um,
And
and then
this is the game I think they were probably trying hardest in. I don't know. I keep saying that, but I think it's true. I mean, why would they try harder in the other games instead of the one that actually has a small trophy for, and also is their last preseason game? This seems like the one they would try their hardest for, and maybe we made them look a bit more pedestrian.
You're right. You're right. You got to remember as well, and I'll remember this for when I used to go to the first preseason, or sorry, the last pre-season friendly, which always used to be at home. They got the players and displayed the new players, whatever. This is a big deal to the fans because the fans have been starved of football for the whole summer or for the majority of the summer. And then I don't know if you said West Ham, but then you've got these two home games, and they're against two London clubs that are very well supported around the world. This would have been a bit. You always want to go into the pre-season or into on the back of a win, and then obviously the home fans have probably seen this game and probably listen. I think Rangers will take more from it than we did in the case of what they need,
Mhm.
and then we've got 1 week to our season starts. So yeah, these curtain raisers mean a big deal to the fans, a big deal because they're parading themselves back in front of their home fans, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Obviously, the result, but I mean, what it does to the fan support, what it does to the team. Think, oh no, we've won one game, but we lost the one going in. Um, we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, um, with us, it keeps the ball rolling. It keeps the momentum rolling. We ended last season. I think our last defeat was Brighton, wasn't it? If I remember
Mhm.
correctly, after Brighton, we drew with Brentford, then went on the run, and we've had three pre-season games, two two uh two wins and a draw. I think the one thing we've got to take from it, and if there's anything I am taking from it right now, and it goes back to about needing a centre back, is we haven't kept a clean sheet in
Yeah, never
pre-season.
thought about that actually. Never thought about that. Nick, what do you make of that? Is that another sort of damning indictment of the defense? We haven't kept a clean sheet.
Yeah, it opens up the questions. You got Stephen Frazier's comment up there right now. Kane, Decky, Romero, and Sanchez top picks. You cannot deny that Sanchez had a very good game.
He
Yep.
had a better game than he ever
I
did, on the
I don't
others.
know if that fills me with confidence or it scares me more because Sanchez is not a new player, man. We have seen Sanchez for a long time. We have seen him have good games, and then we have seen him have some absolute howlers. And so, I I think
Are we
he's.
just flushing out all his mistakes? That's my theory. We're getting out all the mistakes while we can.
I mean, I hope so. I hope so, but I still think that he has the most value if he's on the market right now
I agree.
in this particular window.
I
So,
agree.
and I think we need with everybody else, we need more quality in at center half. So,
Mm.
if he has a good game, hopefully that means somebody wants to come in and pay 30 million for him.
So yeah, I mean, the only thing I know I've said it so many times, I've said it with you, Jack, as well, is this is what Sanchez does. He can
Yeah,
come in for a game, play in the wrong out of position, and have a really good game.
Yeah.
But like I said, the thing for me, if like at the end of last season, let's say we don't get anyone, and the player's out for 2 weeks, and they're like, right, Sanchez is coming in, I'm fine with that. Yes, obviously, I'd rather we signed a better player and whatever. But if it's a couple of games, 3 games, 4 games, whatever, I'm fine. It's when he has a consistent run spanning longer than that that for some reason the errors start creeping in
yeah,
and the mistakes start happening. And when you look at teams like Manchester City now, with obviously Haaland, Nunes at Liverpool, and other things like that, these teams will punish you. They have
yeah,
players now that will punish these mistakes.
Yeah.
And where we want to go, we can't have these mistakes punished. We can't make these mistakes in the first place. Obviously, you're going to make the odd one here and there through the season if they're human. But Sanchez's backup in a like right, someone's out for 2 weeks, you're going in. I'm absolutely fine with it. It's when it's a consistent amount of time that I start worrying.
yeah,
And it's also the case of, I know Dave has said this till he's blue in the face, but yes, maybe we need a creative midfielder. But you even look at this game, we did not struggle with creating chances.
mhm,
We created some clear cut chances, as we seem to always do. It's really more just keeping the other team out of our net, like Brian was saying, and how and also mentioned by Nick, we haven't kept a clean sheet yet, which just sort of shows that yeah, we can outscore teams. Like clearly, in fact, we maybe don't have a struggle with scoring, and being able to, put ourselves ahead. It's just being able to stay, to keep a clean sheet, just being able to, stay kind of solidified, and, know that, the defense has your back in case, you don't have the shooting boots on that day. Because had Harry Kane maybe not saved us with one or two of those finishes there, and the forwards continued to kind of miss or the chances that they were given, we would have needed to rely on the defense in order to kind of get us out of that game, to until we did score. I don't really know if a creative midfielder, if you ask me guys, I don't really know if a creative midfielder would have solved really any of the problems that we had,
Yeah.
this game. It felt like we created enough chances. We just didn't really take them, but it was just more relying on the defense just to, get their shit together.
Yeah. I got a question for you that popped in my head. Why is it that we're seeing Sanchez on the left for 3 games in a row, 3 preseason games in a row? Romero's played right side center back every single one of these preseason games, pretty much the whole match, right? Except
I think
this
because we
now
have
when he was
absolutely
taken off.
no plan on playing him over there. I think we'd rather Romero be
Well,
exceptionally comfortable in
yeah.
the
Well,
right
my
side of
question
center.
is why isn't Sanchez being tested as backup for Romero on the right hand side? What do we
Maybe
have as Plan B if something happens to Romero? Is it
I,
going back to Sanchez again?
I think, Nick, if you look at it, pre-season, the first game, Ben Davies was on his honeymoon
Right.
and couldn't
Right.
play. Second, and then we signed Longley by the time. Oh, sorry, we signed Longley, but he couldn't fly to Korea because of his work permit. So I think that he started. I mean, I would have liked to have seen Longley start and get a little bit more time out of him. But I think
Yeah.
we will see that in Roma. But this is the thing. Like my man Terry Wright says, well, Sanchez as a squad player, and that's what we
Mm.
people when we talk about Sanchez, you got to remember, is he a first teamer? Hell no, hell no. Because if you say he's a first team starter, it weakens the squad immediately, and
Mhm.
I can admit that. But when it comes to being a squad player and helping the team out and being there when needed, for like I've said, like blocks of games here and there, he can do a job. Can he do it all the time? That's up for debate. But before, well, I've got the easiest one to go back to is like the North London derby, when
Uh-huh.
we
uh-huh.
heard Romero was out and Sanchez was coming in at right wing back, and you got to remember that game. Forget that it was just the filth. Forget that it was the game, the first one at the stadium. Forget that it was Champions League or bust. We all thought, oh shit, here we go. Oh no, here we go. And I was one of them, and I'm a Sanchez fan. But
He was one
three
of the
nil,
best defenders that day.
yeah. And then Burnley. All right, Burnley was we were expected to beat Burnley, but the pressure on that we had to win that game to get ahead of the filth for the Newcastle game. A clean sheet again. Then Norwich, and obviously the attackers did their job, so we didn't need to worry. But if I had said to you before those 3 games, we're going to play these 3 games with Sanchez and no Romero, Ben Davies and Eric Dyer, and we're going to keep 3 clean sheets. I reckon if I put bets on with all and I wouldn't even put that bet on, but if I had, I think a lot of people in the chat, a lot of people in the Spurs community would have said, "I'll take that bet. I'll bet you a big amount of money." So we've got to remember what he can do, like Terry says, as a squad player. That's what we got to remember that Sanchez is. And I'm just going to the bathroom, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, and it's probably kind of the limit of Sanchez's powers is sort of being a decent squad player, and I hope that all of this kind of game time and all these minutes that he is receiving right now are going to contribute to him being able to be that reliable squad player that we're looking forward to him being for us because we are going to have to face it. There are going to be games where Romero isn't available through suspension or you just feel like it's too risky to run him in a game. Sanchez is going to need to come in and be that reliable kind of alternative to Romero and kind of give us things that we know Romero can give. And Sanchez on his best day potentially can do it, but it's really hard to know what Sanchez you're getting, on a given day. But everybody, we have, I think, maybe just a few more things maybe to touch on. I don't really know, what other questions I have for the panel. So if you guys want to, maybe give us some ideas. We are going to kind of wrap things up when Brian gets back, start plugging some channels and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
man.
if you
Well, I
do
got
feel
two
like,
questions.
there's other things to talk about, feel free to throw it
I
in the
got two
super
names
chat.
for you, man. Brian Hill
Yes.
and Richie. So Hill, is there a place? Is there a world in which he stays in the team?
I think there's more of a space I'm seeing for Papa Montasar than I think there
Mm,
is maybe for
right.
Brian Hill. Just because with Papa Montasar, in case you get Skip injured, in case Basuma has an injury, in case someone, falls injured, it's nice to have someone like Papa Montasar around if we don't get a creative midfielder. I think he would be someone that could be quite useful to have. And I've said this before, and I know probably people laughed, but there is a position in that squad, Nick, for someone to have 800, 900 minutes, in all
Hmm.
competitions. It's not a glamorous, position. It's a lot of bench warming. It's a lot of you're just sitting back and, just watching others play for you. But I feel like Papa Montessar could fit well into that role. I don't really think he needs to be shoved out there into the Premier League, right away. He's only 19 years old anyway. So if he were to stick around, learn from Conte, just go through the training, go through the motions with the team, kind of be that young, vibrant sort of player, to help out when he needs somebody to press really hard and things like that. I think there's a spot in this team for Papa Montessar. When it comes to Brian Hill, to answer your question, it's so hard. Like, I just don't know. Like, like, again, is he comfortable with, playing maybe only 1,200 minutes, in all competitions? If Brian Hill is, then I'd say, yeah, there's a spot for him. But there's so many people that want Brian Hill too. Like, I think there are all
Yeah.
these clubs that want him on loan. And that's the other issue, is that people do want these players, on loan. They want to be able to use them. So it is tough. It's a tough decision.
Well, I would argue that the same reasoning you have for possibly keeping Sarr, I can see for keeping Hill around.
True. Yeah. Do you
Clearly,
think there's a spot in this team for someone to play, 40-ish, minutes in a game,
play in
like
the
coming
early
off the
cup,
bench?
the early
Yeah.
rounds of the cups. Clearly, he has great delivery from the corner, and from a dead ball, there's something there.
Yeah.
And I think it's possible that I don't see it happening. I see him going out on loan, 100%. But I think if he did stay, we could get some use out of him.
Yeah. Interesting. Brian, before we get to some of these super chats here, what do you think? Is Brian Hill capable, finding a spot in the squad? Will he take a spot in the squad? I think
I
Nick is right though. Like, maybe there is some use, with how he could fit into this team.
there may be, but I think with this summer and how we've attacked things, I don't think some use is good enough. In all honesty, I don't think.
That's how we
No,
describe Sanchez and
uh,
Emerson. Yeah.
but what I mean with that is, does this guy have talent that could become something? He most
Yeah.
certainly does. Do I think he can add anything to the squad overall in a big season coming up? No. But what I want to see with him, and maybe Mate Sarr if they do, I think for me it's imperative that if they do go on loan, they go to a Premiership club or a Championship club, because we all heard that Brian Hill, with the physicality of the game and settling in and whatever, was finding it difficult, which I can understand. Listen, one of the greatest things about me moving to Canada was when I came here, they speak English. Obviously, they speak French, but I came here and I didn't have to worry about learning a new language,
Yeah.
or the only thing I had to learn was the cultural differences and whatever. And it's
Yeah.
very hard as a footballer to come into these countries, wherever you may be, and then go on loan to another loan, go back to Spain. It's like, how are you going to learn and settle in and understand the culture and understand
Yeah.
the style of football and understand what it is if you're going back out on loan there? So if Mate Sarr and Hill does go on loan, go to maybe with Hill, keep him in the Premiership, but like a mid-table, whatever. And even with Mate Sarr, even send him out to a Championship team.
Mm,
So you're going to get, I mean, the Championship. I mean, for his position and where he plays, look what Ollie Skip did. Look what Ollie Skip
Yeah,
did with Norwich.
yeah,
I mean, obviously he's English. It's a lot easier for him. But I would like to see, if these players did go on loan, they stay within England,
yeah.
yes. Love that.
or at
Absolutely.
least not. At least if they go out on loan, don't go back to Spain or France, where you know how the game is. Go and learn it. Go and play in a different country where you're gonna have to settle. You're gonna have to learn a
Either,
different.
yeah, either stick around with the team or go to some sort of, club, at least in the English pyramid, football, at least stay within the, stay on the island. Just stay on the island, to play your football. I think that's all we want. Or stick around with the squad. I think we
Yeah,
just want them, like you said, to climatize, learn English, learn the Premier League, learn what it's like, in this sort of, kind of environment and whatnot. That's what we want. We don't want them to be developing with, an environment or kind of a setting that's just completely different, to our own, where it doesn't really teach them anything. I think that's a good point, especially in their cases, as well. I don't think it helps them out too much. Kafkov Gaming said, we need more creative attacking midfielders. That's the problem. Kavkov, I don't know. I mean, guys, I want one of you to disagree with me maybe here, so that Kavkov can feel maybe, validated. But
yep,
I feel like the creative midfielder was not something we needed today. Like, I think, we didn't have any issue, I think, with creating. In fact, when Basuma came on, it felt like we controlled the game a whole lot more. We could see what he offers compared to maybe Bentancur and Højbjerg. Um, some of the players like Lucas we brought on offered something different. Perisic came on, offered something different. I feel like we created chances. We looked threatening. We looked like a team that, can easily hurt teams, going forward. It was more just defensively, in possession, as well as just defensively in general. We just looked not really up to par, if you ask me. I feel like there wasn't really a creative midfielder that would have, fixed the issues that we had today. I don't think a creative midfielder was necessary.
Or at least if you would have stuck a creative midfielder in there in place of one of the two midfielders, would he have
Uh-huh.
had would he have been effective? And that's one thing that I kind of wanted to see in the preseason that we haven't seen so far is a different formation to see if
Mm.
he's going to try a different formation.
Did
Now,
we see it with Richarlison, Son, and Kane?
in
Maybe.
shifting around there in this match,
Yeah,
uh,
I think so. Yeah, I think there was
yeah,
like maybe a version of it. It looked like, at one stage Sonny was out right, Richarlison was playing through the middle, Kane was just kind of just playing slightly behind them. I don't know. I think, it's what we sort of were anticipating would happen if all three of those players were on the pitch at the same time.
mhm.
But that's what I would see is maybe the slight formation change. But yeah, maybe if we put James Madison behind Kane and Son, we could have seen some. I feel like we created enough. Maybe that's all I'm just trying to say.
You,
It
you,
felt like we
you know what
created
I,
enough
I would say in
chances.
response to you, Jack? If you look at it in the first half, we spoke about it, saying we looked absolutely the lack of creativity to me stood out like a sore thumb. And we all know how important it is for wing backs on the Conte system. We've said this. And then obviously Perisic and Spence only had a little bit of game time. But did Perisic create? Yes, he
Yes,
did.
absolutely.
Um, when you said like Basumas came on, like Richarlison or not, what he does, look at the ball. He draws fouls. He breaks the play up. He is a nuisance to. He's one of those, and this has been said a lot by a lot of people. He's one of those fat players that you love him when he's on your side, but you cannot
Mm,
stand him when he's against you.
hmm.
Um, and you just saw with the second half substitutions, the creativity came. But I still think, don't get me wrong, I still believe the main areas is going to be the wing backs. It's completely the wing backs, and we're going to see what they can do. But I would still want that player. I think we can kick it down the can down the road. I still want to see that player that can play that pass in a split second, the eye of a needle, that can split a defence or can break the lines and advance himself and have a look. We're talking to James Madison. People
Uh-huh.
will know I love James Ward-Prowse with every single beat of my heart. I would love him at the club, but once we signed Basuma, I jumped on the James Madison because James Madison is that number 10, that or whatever number you want to give him, that creative one that drops deep or goes advanced. James Ward-Prowse is like a quarterback.
Yeah.
He'll dictate it from the centre of the pitch, spraying passes around. We've got all that in the four. We've got already. Ollie Skip can do that. Um, Bentancur can do that. We need that midfielder that can offer us what we haven't got. And
Definitely.
it's that, like, I mean, if it comes down, let's say it's the 90th minute against Chelsea, and it's 0-0, and then that player's on the ball and can see Kane or Son making a run, or Kulu. Would you say at the moment you have absolute 100% confidence the four midfielders we have at the moment will find that man on the one time that they need it? Right now, I'd probably say they probably could find it, but am I 100% confident they could find it? No. If
No.
it was a if it was a Milenkovic Savic, if it was a James Madison, if it was a Paqueta, if it was other players, I would have a lot more confidence that at that crunch time, can they find the ball? Yes, yes. I'd be, you know what I mean? It's like when you have a penalty, do you want anyone other than Harry Kane taking that penalty? No, because you know what's going to happen. And I think when we look for that killer ball at the killer moment, in the middle of the park. Do I think we have that player just yet that will do it 10 times out of 10 or 9 out of 10 times? No, I don't. But I'm still
Kapkov
delighted.
Gaming. Yeah. Kafkov Gaming, just in response to what I think I'm saying, on this creative midfield, Brian, kind of question and we're going to get to the 13th man super chat. Don't worry. But, just as a response to what, I think I said, he's saying a creative midfielder helps us play better and keep the ball. All we do is kick the ball forward and hope Son and Kane latch onto it Rangers played us off the park, he says. Um, Brian
I mean,
Dagler,
first half,
Oh,
first
God,
half,
you go first.
absolutely 100%. But I don't, absolutely don't agree with that in the second half. We
Yeah,
were all, our possession stats were much better. Movement of the ball was much better. We were far fewer dumb passes into space that got picked up. A lot of that in the first half, not so much in the second half.
mm,
So, I mean, is it we just had more creativity coming in off of our subs, off of the youth? I
and
don't
the
know.
other thing as well is he is right. They have more possession than us. And I did, point out, with Brian, when we were watching the first half, we were saying, to be fair to Kapkov, trying to be kind to him, we were making these dangerous passes into Kane and Son in hope that they would have like an excellent first touch, be able to turn their man, and then we would kind of, be through. But we were kind of relying, it felt like on one stage, quite heavily on, that pass into Kane or Son, which then led to something, So I see what he means. Like we sort of were relying on them to get something going, or Kulusevski, to get something going. But that is sort of how also I think, the game works. I
Yeah,
think you do try to get the ball into your forward players and you expect your forward players to, do something spectacular with it, to get the team going. But I think Kapkov is right. They did, have plenty more possession than us, and we were sort of going for very dangerous forward passes, into Kane, Son, and Kulusevski. But that is sort of how I think we play. I think we play a lot more direct than other teams too. We don't really pass it sideways, very often if we don't need to. We like to play direct. We like to play dangerous passes that, are maybe not very high percentage passes, but are dangerous passes nonetheless.
So I was watching it. Do you know what? Like we said, but first half, second half, there was a complete night and day. First half, Rangers were maybe Van Bronckhorst said, right, listen, this is the game before. Go out full throttle in the first half. Let's see what they're made of. And
Mhm.
obviously, they may have got tired, and our fitness came through. Our fitness came through, which I think had a big deal of it. But I was watching a thing on YouTube earlier from ESPN when they were talking about Tottenham top four. And Shaka Hislop was like, "Yep, they're going to get top four. Look at what they've done." But Steve Nicol, of all people, who is always, "Oh, Kane should leave," whatever. He was very, very, very complimentary of Spurs. He said, "You know what? Spurs last season were very defensive because of what they had and what they had to do. And obviously, once we got up front, Kane and Son, Kulu did what they did." And he was saying he expects to see a lot more attack in Tottenham because now they've got players, like we said, on the bench that can make these differences, and we may see more of a. I don't think we'll see so much of a counter attack in Tottenham. I think what you're going to see next season is after when Antonio Conte was at Chelsea and they got battered by the filth, he said, "Right, forget this back four, we're going back three." And then they went on that 15-game run of winning
Uh,
what we stopped them doing with Dele Alli's headers. You saw an explosion of just attack, attack, attack. And I've got a funny feeling we're going to see more of that this season.
Mhm.
But that I think we're going to see more based on if another couple of players come in.
Here
I
you are. There you
Yeah.
are.
So
Kapkov. Yeah, sorry, Brian. I'm
no, I
interrupting you.
was just about to say yes. So that's it. I mean, I think having this creative midfield come in, and Rob was asking me, would I like to see the other four? I love the 3-5-2. If we look at the Liverpool game at home, we played 3-5-2. Certain games we and I think now buying these players, I really would like to see the transition into a 3-5-2. But I think if we do that transition into a 3-5-2, we need to have that creative midfielder on there because the way I look at it now, that 3-5-2, we're looking at like what you said earlier, Jack, Harry Kane dropping deep.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Harry Kane dropping deep is phenomenal. He is outstanding, but he is the best striker in world football. Why do you want to sacrifice the best striker in world football, changing into another position and sacrificing what he? I mean, we saw today with his chances.
Yeah.
That's where I want to see Harry Kane.
Hmm.
Dropping deep occasionally, like he does and like he has done with fine in the past. But Harry Kane should always be up top for me.
Yeah. With how clinical he is, it's a valid point always. And the other problem though that you have is that you just don't want him, like you said, Brian, you still want him to drop deep occasionally because you have to take advantage of
Yep.
that, delivery and of that creative ability he has. He's probably better passer the most creative midfielders we'd be going to, for anyways. So that's, sometimes an argument people would make is Harry Kane is kind of already one of the best passers in world football. Do you even really need, a creative midfielder? I think you do, but I'll be honest, just today, it just didn't feel like it was a problem for me. Like I just didn't look at how this game went and said, do you know what, we need a creative midfielder. It just didn't really, come to my head. It felt like what we needed was another center back to compete, with Dyer and Sanchez, because it would have just been nice to have seen, something different, in defense like we got with Longley. But Kavkov, I think a lot of people are on your side there, my man. And the possession stats certainly would agree with you there as well. The 13th man saying, I guess there are two phases to this transfer window. The first one saw 6 incomings. The second one will see some of the players we thought were squad players leave, and we will see a couple of incomings. That is a good way probably to break down how maybe these, if you were to break down the transfer window into 2 different halves for Spurs, the beginning was met with a ton of incomings. Now it seems like this second spell is going to be a lot of outgoings. It seems like that's really all the news that's out there when it comes to Spurs transfer news, is just outgoings, not really incomings. And with the outgoings could then trigger potentially a bit of extra money, or, the need to bring in some more incomings, because we don't really know which center backs, which midfielders, which wingers we're actually going to get rid of. I think we know we're going to get rid of Gio. We know we're going to get rid of Reguilon. Are we going to be able to get rid of Winks? Are we going to be able to get rid of, Tanguy and Dumbele, these sort of questions, and some other players as well? It's kind of, I don't really know. And I agree with you, 13th man. It's going to have to be, a lot of outgoings in order to bring in, I think, the next set of incomings, because I know we have the money, but it seems like we don't actually know what players we're able to even get rid of, because we're struggling even with getting rid of some of the players, at least right now. But I don't know, Brian, Nick, any of you guys agree with this? The first, half of the window was all about incomings. Second half, maybe more about outgoings than incomings.
And hallelujah, thank God it was handled that way. Thank God the trend was bucked. And the problem that I think is going to frustrate people over the month of August is the fact that Winks isn't going to go anywhere until the very, very end of the window, because the teams who are in for him know that he's not playing this year at all. He's for Spurs. He's not. So they can wait until the very last minute and get him the cheapest possible. We know who it's going to frustrate the most, but we're just going to have to just resign ourselves to the fact that he's not going anywhere for, in my opinion, for at least another 3 weeks, possibly 4 weeks. And it's going to be 10 million. It's not going to be 20. It's not, I don't think it's even going to be 15, but he's going to go to Everton or Southampton, something like that, for a bargain basement price, in my opinion. Tanguy and Dumbele, same kind of thing. It's not going to be the Premier League, but it's going to be a loan, and it's going to be a bargain basement loan just to get him off the bench, just to get him out and about somewhere.
Let's just get him some fresh air. It seems. But there you are, 13th man. Yeah, I think that you're spot on. That's exactly how it's going to go. And like Nick said there before, I'm actually glad that it's gone that way, to be honest. Spot on, and really appreciate the support as well. Capcom Gaming again here saying, if Son and Kane is the plan, we are too easy to defend against. I feel like I don't like disagreeing with you, Kafkov, but we have Kulusevski. That was the whole point of bringing in, a quality third attacker. Was for a long time, it always was Kane and Son were the only threats, because Lucas Moura really would never really show up in the big games. Steven Bergwijn wasn't really given many opportunities, but also didn't take his opportunities when really given to him. Kulusevski is the one guy to come in and actually take that right wing spot or that third attacking spot for his own. He's made it his own. And I feel like there is a third threat now. Like, people have to take Kulusevski seriously. I don't think a team could come up against Spurs and just say, oh, it's just Son and Kane. That's all you have to worry about. I think you would be pretty naive, to look at Spurs that way now.
Do you know what I want to add to this? I mean, I get completely what Kavkov is saying, but if you look at it,
that used to be the case with Spurs. I think what Kavkov is saying absolutely used to be the case.
But no, it's not even that. Even if you look at it, saying that it's easy to defend, Son is the Golden Boot winner. The season before that, Kane was the Golden Boot winner, and Kane was the highest assist winner. I completely get what he's saying, that we can be predictable, because it's like, stop those two, and then you've got Tottenham. But by the
Easier
stats and
said
the
than done to
record,
stop him.
exactly. It's a lot. I completely agree with the sentiment that he's saying. And like you said, with Kulusevski coming in and now Richarlison coming in, there's added options. But to say easy to defend against is a bit of a push because, like I said,
Franco is saying to say Son and Kane is easy to defend against is the same thing as to say Mane and Salah are easy to defend against.
yeah, this is the thing. You look at it. I mean, I completely get it. I mean, there's been games. You got to remember that sometimes there's been games where there's a cluster of goals from them, where Kane will get a hat trick and then Son will chop in with a hat. So they come in clusters throughout the season, but they are deadly. They are deadly. I mean, obviously there's games that like the Burnley, where you stop Son and Kane. Look, we don't win that game. Look, technically, after Man City or any time, we should be able
Yeah.
to at least give them a match. And there's times where it is easy to, but the majority of it is they're unstoppable. I wouldn't say unstoppable. They're deadly. They're deadly.
Absolutely.
And if you've got back-to-back golden boots from two players in your team, you're obviously not stopping them very well.
No, definitely not. And just he has another follow up. He says, we need more weapons if we want to
Correct.
win something. And
That
that
I
is
completely
correct.
agree with.
We do need a fourth, probably attacker. I guess Richarlison was the fourth
Richarlison,
attacker,
yeah, I
but
mean, he is a weapon. He is a weapon. And
maybe an
also,
extra one on top of that. Maybe an extra one
yeah,
on top of that is what
also
Capcom is
what's not being taken into account in, it is by a lot of people, but in the attacking midfielder discussion is, but really Conte wants to use the width for his creativity, and
saying. Uh-huh.
we haven't seen it executed last season. But I mean, that's how he wants to play. That's why an attacking midfielder has not been the priority in this
Yeah.
window. I would love to see it too, because I love to see creativity through the middle. It's fun
Just
for
seems to be
me.
the last of our priority,
Yeah,
when it comes.
it's
It
just
seems
it's
like
not.
opportunistic signing the creative midfielder. It seems like it's going to be an opportunistic signing, not as much of a priority signing, for Spurs, if you ask
Yeah,
me. Something has to come up, like a 30 million for Zaniolo, a 35 million for James Madison. We are going to finish off though with the last super chat here from 13th Man, and then we're going to plug Brian's channel. And he says, 13th Man says Conte plays a 3-5-2 in the Serie A, but switches to a 3-4-1-2 in the Premier League for some odd games. He chose a 3-5-2 at Inter, even after winning the league with a 3-4-2-1 at Chelsea. Why's that? He's making a good point here that, he's made the switch from the 3-4-2-1 or from the 3-4-3 to the 3-5-2 in the past, and has actually won league titles with both. He won he won a league title with Chelsea using the 3-4-3, and he's won a league title with Inter using the 3-5-2. When it comes to it, though, 13th Man, which one is better? Which one looks, I don't, it's so hard to say. I feel like Spurs are such a fluid squad right now that I feel like we sort of look just as powerful with either, kind of formation or either shape. It's just so dependent on the opponent. And maybe that's how Conte will go about it. But I feel like in, previous teams that he's been with, he did stay pretty consistent for the most stage, with either the 3-4-3 or the 3-5-2. With Inter, he stuck with the 3-5-2 lots. But then with Chelsea, he stuck with the 3-4-3 lots. Granted, he made changes, but it seems like he picks one for probably around 60 to 70%, of the games. But I don't know. What do you guys think on, 13th Man super chat, and then we'll kind of end off and, kind of plug some channels. But 3-5-2, 3-4-3, what do we see happening maybe in the first 3-4 games of the season? Brian?
Okay, so for me, I mean, it's a great super chat, phenomenal things. Well, listen, what I take from it as well is, listen, Conte knows what he's doing. Conte wins wherever he
I,
goes.
yeah.
He wins, and the great thing is him. He finds a way to do it. He's so methodical. He's so on the ball. I would love to see. I mean, when we look at Chelsea, he had a wealth of riches. No matter what we say, we've had a good summer. We've had a great summer. It needs to be better. But Chelsea under Conte, they had literally the most awesome squad. So he had the flexibility to do it. Inter, they went spending big. He kind of had the flexibility to do it here. Now he's getting the tools right now to be flexible.
Hmm.
Is he as confident as he was with his Chelsea players? I don't think he is. I think he's, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to twist this as a Levy thing or anything. I'm just talking, you
Yeah,
look at
no,
that
I know what you're
Chelsea
saying.
team and you look at that Tottenham team, it still needs work on it. The
He
work on
probably
it has
thinks
been good.
he can't get as much out of this team maybe as he did with that Chelsea team.
Yeah, exactly. He's starting to get, and in that Chelsea team that he inherited were winners.
True.
Were even when he came in, they'd won the Champions League, they'd won the league, they'd won the FA Cup, they'd won. I think if we can get a cup under our belt, if we can do like Jose himself says, winning the League Cup, it was always important to him because it's the first trophy under the belt that you can win, and then it gets the mentality going. If we can do very well in the Carabao Cup and win it, I think the levels that we go up are extensive, and that
Absolutely.
will put the mind. Yes, we can win a trophy. Yes, we are good enough. Yes, we can do this, and I think that's what we're waiting for. And and hopefully there'll be some more incomings before the season's out to make the team feel that way.
Absolutely, Brian. Really well said. Final comment to you, 13th man, and really appreciate the really two generous donations. I feel like, the reason he did make those changes, part of it just had to do with personnel. Maybe he just saw that, one set of players does a lot better, than another set of players. And he figured that the 3-5-2 was going to be more effective than the 3-4-3, with certain teams. Maybe a lot of it just has to do with personnel, what players he has available to him. It's a really good question, though, brother. But Daigle, thank you so much for filling in today. You've done an absolute service to the Irish Hotspur today. You've been a real saint to us over here. I'm putting in your link to Tottenham on Tour, which I know plenty of people do know about, but there are definitely going to be some people that were probably new to this channel today and don't know maybe about Tottenham on Tour. So tell us about it. And also, again, Daigle, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
so like I
Really
said, you can
appreciate
find me, Brian Ireland, Danny Kiriakou, Adam Clark on We Are Tottenham. I always do that on Tottenham on Tour, not We Are Tottenham TV. Tottenham on Tour. Um, we're up in our game this season. There's going to be a lot more new shows, a lot more content. Still going to do straight out Conte, ask us anything. Um, three shows I've just very very quickly plugged that we're very very happy with. On Thursday this week. There will be we're pre-recording it. Whether it'll be out Thursday, it might be out Friday, but there is going to be a video called "It's Happened Again." I'm not going to tell people what it's about. Going to leave
Yeah,
people
I'm
intrigued,
very
but
curious. My
but
interest is peaked on that one, bro.
no, Nick, maybe I'll send you a WhatsApp and let you know what it's about. Or actually, I'll tell you two in the back end once we're finished. You're going to want to watch that. All I will say is that Thursday's a very very big day for me as well. We're going to end it at the Scotland Yard, the world famous home of Toronto Spurs, because Thursday is my day that I celebrate 14 years sober.
Wow.
um, which is as people get to know me and have seen me, my sobriety is a big part of me and my work that I try to do for mental health. So we're going to end it at the Scotland Yard with me having an alcohol-free pint at my favourite pub. So that's one show that we're very, very proud of. We're doing a special podcast on the Wednesday before the season starts. So not this
Ooh,
Wednesday, the following Wednesday, and making their YouTube debut. We have the guys from Spurs Song Sheet.
Wow.
Th-
all right.
So we're going to be doing a pre-season build-up with them, talking that, and then we're going to end with a good old Spurs song sheet medley and sing song. So it's their very, 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 very first appearance on YouTube, which we're delighted to do. And then the show we're very proud of. We did the short video for it this week to announce it. Nick has already commented on it. We're doing a show called Everywhere You Go, which is basically obviously this Spurs community is so wide and the fan base is so incredibly big that obviously, do you ever have that time where you're going away on business or vacation and you don't know where you might want to watch a big Spurs game and it's like, where do I go to watch it? And there's so many brilliant fan clubs around the world that we don't know of. So we're going to be doing a pre-recorded like 20, 30-minute video with people from fan clubs around the world. And we're starting with Toronto Spurs, of course. We're going to talk about how it was formed, how much is the membership, what do you do with the membership, do you do anything in the community? Like Toronto Spurs do a lot of charity work, but then most importantly, the good stuff. Where's the pub? What's it like on a match day? Videos of their match day experiences. We've got people from Senegal, Spurs wanting to come on, Australia,
Wow.
Ireland. We've got six in the States. So we're really proud of these shows that are about to come out. So you can find it on Tottenham on Tour. But in ending, Jack, you know, brother, whenever you need me, if I'm available and this channel needs me, I will
He's a hero.
always
He's
be
a
here.
hero.
So
Call on our superhero,
it's been a
Super
superhero and
pleasure.
Brian
It's been a
Daigle.
pleasure being on the channel, and it's wonderful spending time with Nick as well because I love this man dearly.
Thank you,
And then
Brian,
to
man.
you,
It's a
Nick,
pleasure.
final words before we end off, my man. And thank you so much again, Brian. And, excellent plug of Tottenham on tour, I would say. Very professional plug there.
I
But
just want
Nick,
to
any
say
final
big up the
words? Thank you
chat,
for
man.
joining us.
You know what? It's good to be here, man. An honor and a pleasure to be with Daigle. Big up the chat, man. It's like family in there, for the most part, 99%. The
Love
other
that.
1%, you know who you are.
They definitely do. They definitely do. But everybody show Nick a bit of love. He's running a lot of stuff behind the scenes here. Technically, while we've been doing this watch along, as well as coming in, bringing in that fresh perspective at halftime, as well as full time, the thing that we will be bringing you guys in the future. Dave, I bet he will be back for the next watch along, but we're going to have Nick be a regular occurrence, in these watch alongs when he can make it, when he is available. And I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy that. That'll be all for now on the Irish Hotspur, though. Everybody, head on over to We Are Time TV, where I'm pretty sure you can find people like Brian Daigle and whatnot giving their say and
Very
having more
shortly.
comments on the game. But everybody, as always, come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you
Someday
Spurs.
we
Come on,
trust.
Spurs.
Everywhere we go,